Okay, we are live. We are officially live. We have breaking news, everybody. Zach LaVine is officially been traded to the Sacramento Kings. I have no other information right now. Shams tweeted this out 4 minutes ago, okay? But we have officially seen AK make a damn move, for God's sake. So I'm waiting for the details, obviously, because we need to wait and see what the return is for the Bulls, right? Like, I hope that we're just not getting just a bunch of salary fillers and crap, right? But this is a multi-team deal that is going to be sending Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings, and De'Aaron Fox is going to the San Antonio Spurs, okay? So, again, I don't know anything just yet. We're all just kind of waiting for Shams to send out something else here. Also, I'm going to pull up Casey Johnson's Twitter just in case here, because I know he's the other guy to trust. But I'm just waiting. We're waiting for details, but we are officially seeing that LaVine has been traded. Shams has tweeted it out, and unless Shams did get hacked this time, we can obviously trust him for right now. But yeah, we have a major thing going on right here as we're waiting and seeing details. Was not expecting this. Definitely not expecting this to happen. Of all teams, it's the Sacramento Kings, and it's just, bro, we got Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Assuming DeRozan's not part of this deal, they're playing together again, which is just like, are you kidding me, Sacramento? Like, really? That's like, I don't think that's the correct decision you want to go to, but sure, if you want to do that, that's fine, I guess. I'm not here to stop you, but I don't understand the whole idea of putting DeMar DeRozan and LaVine on the same team again, but sure, I guess. I guess we'll see how this works out, but in terms of what the Sacramento Kings needed on offense, I think LaVine is kind of what you needed. So I don't blame them for what they need on offense, but wow, I can't believe this actually happened. So for all the people that did doubt about LaVine getting traded, including myself, right? But I did make the bet saying that I think Zach will be traded if he is healthy. It has come true. It has come true that Zach did get traded even though he is healthy. So granted, we'll see what is in return. It'll be very funny if DeMar DeRozan is being sent back to Chicago. Because I won't lie, I won't be shocked if that is the case, if DeMar DeRozan gets sent back to Chicago here. But I really hope that won't be the case, and I hope that AK and Mark Eversley have actually pulled off something better here. I don't know. We'll see. Again, still waiting for details. The last Shams tweet is them saying, wow, De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama together. That's all fine and dandy. I'm excited for that duo, all right? I'm very excited for that specific duo down the road here. But right now, though, bro, I need the Bulls details. I need Bulls details right now. I need to hear, or I need to know what exactly the Bulls got in this trade, just to see if AK is still absolutely garbage at his job, or if we're looking all right. And we're looking at a better future here for this Bulls team. But again, don't know. We'll see. I'm interested to see what the return is, but we don't know. We're still just kind of waiting here, waiting and seeing. And as you can see, I follow Valorant as well. I'm scrolling Twitter on live, which is a very, very scary thing to do. But I'm waiting, guys. I'm seriously waiting here. So if you find if any news gets leaked to you guys, if any news gets sent to you guys, then please let me know. Like, immediately, like, send it in Twitter. Send it in the chat. Say who the Twitter profile I need to go to. Just let me know. Let me know immediately about any details. But again, right now I'm just in limbo. I'm in limbo just as much as you guys. Of like, hey, we need info, guys. I need info, please. But we'll see what happens here. Bulls better have gotten something good here, because LaVine's having one hell of a season, and you're facilitating a De'Aaron Fox trade to San Antonio. So they better be getting something really good here. Obviously, the Kings are still trying to win, so they're still doing their own thing. But I need the details, bro, because I need to make sure the Bulls just didn't mess this up, and we didn't get DeMar DeRozan coming back to Chicago, because I'm being dead serious right now. That is a little possibility. I'm being dead serious that DeMar DeRozan might be coming back to Chicago, and I'm going to lose my mind. But please, I'm hoping, please, come on, Shams. I need details, and I want to make sure that AK didn't mess this one up, which I don't have faith in. I won't lie. Let's see. All right. So we got one thing for Casey Johnson, and it's that Kevin Huerter is returning back to the Bulls. Okay. That's not very shocking. Kevin Huerter to the Bulls makes a lot of sense in this sort of deal. So that's one thing. Okay, my timeline. I just got a notification again here, and it's Malik Ant just talked about DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine back in Sacramento, which is funny as hell. I won't lie. It's very funny to look at that right now. That DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are back together, but they're in a purple uniform instead. Okay, so we have Kevin Huerter is going. For the Sacramento Kings to take on LaVine's contract, they are over the salary cap, but they are, let's see here. Okay, this is unfortunately now it's officially updated, so it's a little bit messed up because LaVine's contract's now on the books here. But so we don't know who got sent out, but sending out De'Aaron Fox should have been most of what they needed to send out, right? So then I'm gonna guess maybe the Spurs sent the Bulls some stuff in return, right? Let's see here. So San Antonio. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and details, please, details. Nothing still. Oh my God, bro. I need details. He said, okay, I got it. Yeah, Huerter's bonds. I'm not very happy about Kevin Huerter. I won't lie, but that's obviously not the entire trade. I need to see more. We gotta wait for more details before I'm gonna be like, oh wow, Kevin Huerter sucks and everything. Like, I won't lie, Kevin Huerter's not played very great recently, so that's not shocking. Zach Collins. Okay, Zach Collins is coming to the Bulls. That also makes a lot of sense here. Okay, wait, full trade. Let's see. Oh my God, bro. Oh, that's it. Nah, I'm not happy. I'm genuinely not happy about this. Are you kidding me, bro? The Sacramento Kings got Zach LaVine, 3 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks out of this. The Bulls took back Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and they got their own pick back from San Antonio. Which, if you're going to trade Zach, you're probably going to keep the pick anyway. Like, what? How can we not get anything else done in this? That's insane. We traded back the pick that we got in the DeMar DeRozan deal and one of the second-round picks, bro. That's garbage. That is straight up garbage, bro. Nah, absolutely not, bro. AK, honestly, bro, like, there's nothing topping Nico Collins, but AK is still stupid as hell. This is garbage. This is straight up bullshit. Straight up bullshit. You can't trade Zach LaVine only to take back Zach Collins, who is not playing anymore, Trey Jones, who I do appreciate, Kevin Huerter, who is, out for a good part of the season, and you just get your own pick back. That's it. You just traded one of the picks you got back in the DeMar DeRozan deal to Sacramento back. Bro. How the fuck did Sacramento do better than us, bro? Like, Sacramento was able to figure this out better than us. They took Zach, they traded De'Aaron Fox, they got 3 first-round picks out of it, an unprotected from San Antonio in 2027, Minnesota's 2031 unprotected, and then the top 14 protected Charlotte first, which is from this year, right? That Charlotte pick is probably not going to convey, so I'm sure there's other implications in that one later. They then got the second round pick that was from the DeMar DeRozan deal when we got DeRozan from the Spurs, okay? They got the 2025 pick that we sent to the Spurs, okay? They got Denver's 2028 second, and then they got their own pick back from the DeMar DeRozan deal that we just did this past offseason. So we're down a second round pick. Somehow, some way, you traded Zach LaVine, and we lost a pick out of it. We didn't get another pick. We just got back our own pick for this. Are you serious? We're going to keep our pick anyway if you're trading Zach LaVine. So somehow, some way, the front office just somehow gave away a pick in the Zach LaVine deal after he's having this one hell of a season. That is insane. We got nobody from, like, I was expecting, honestly, bro, I was expecting that we're going to get Keldon Johnson in this deal. Like, if we got Keldon Johnson, I'm like, you know what, okay, you know, we'll trade Keldon Johnson later for something else. Like, it's not horrible, but, like, okay, you get our pick back, we get Keldon Johnson. Ideally, you probably get some seconds in this deal. Like, okay, I can live with it. I genuinely thought Keldon Johnson was going to come back just due to the contracts, but Towns means Vooch trade. I'm expecting a Vooch trade now. Now that we officially got Zach off the books, then there's absolutely no reason to have Vucevic around, right? So we're definitely gonna be trading Vooch. Which again, like, if you're wondering again, I don't care what the Vooch return is. At this point, you just gotta trade him. Okay, like you just gotta trade Vooch for anything at this point because his contract gets worse and worse. Like he's less valuable as the days go on. So, like, if the Bulls just traded Vooch for some salary fillers, like, I honestly wouldn't be that mad. Like, I'm just like, okay, sure, that's fine. Like, you need to trade Vooch for something though, because his contract, like his value continues to decline as the days go by. So you need to trade Vooch. But this is unacceptable. Zach is having one hell of a season. You decided to go ahead and cash in now just so that you could get your pick back and work on, oh yeah, we'll be fine. Now, like, are you freaking serious, bro? No, this is unacceptable. This is way too low of a return for you just getting your own pick back. Okay, you don't take on Zach Collins just so you can get your pick back. All right, like you take on Zach Collins to get your pick back and also at least some seconds too. The fact that you only got your pick back and you're taking on Kevin Huerter's 2-year contract, which is a pretty, like, you know, it's a lengthy contract here. Or sorry, it's like a decent chunk of money for the contract. It's not lengthy. It's only 2 years, and you're getting Trey Jones, I guess, out of the deal. Which, I mean, I appreciate Trey Jones, but like he's not going to turn into anything amazing. And you just got your pick back, and you sent a 2nd-round pick to Sacramento. Are you? Oh my God, bro, that's insane. You sent a 2nd-round pick back to Sacramento that you just got in the DeMar DeRozan deal. These are just as stupid, not gonna lie. I think the Kings, honestly, I won't be shocked here if they actually decide just to trade Zach immediately. Like, I'm being dead serious right now. The Kings got 3 first-round picks out of this deal. The Kings are fine, okay? They got 3 first-round picks out of this deal. They got 3 second-round picks out of this deal. They're fine. Like, the Sacramento Kings are just fine. They also got Sissoko out of this deal. They're fine. The Kings might actually, what the Kings might actually do, like right now, they might be like talking to the Warriors like right now, saying like, okay, so we got Zach. All right, now what are you gonna give us for Zach instead? So like they may actually just like send LaVine off somewhere else here. If not though, then I don't really know what they're doing still, honestly. But they're in a much better spot than the Bulls. Like if you're getting 3 first-round picks and then you get Zach as well, like you're fine. You're sitting pretty. You can then trade Zach for other stuff later. But this right here is garbage from the front office. The Bulls front office just straight up just got fleeced again. Another fleecing job just so that we can get Zach LaVine off our books. Like, why not just wait till the offseason just so that you can see what else is out there and maybe get some better opportunities, bro? Like, this is insane to take this back. This is awful. This point, I'm shocked he didn't accept the Vooch Capella swap. Honestly, if that was on the table, which again, I don't know if that was on the table or not, I'm shocked he didn't accept that either. I don't know his worst take here, Nico Harris for trading. No, Nico Harris is still the dumbest idiot ever for trading Luka Doncic. Like that, there is nothing that's gonna ever top that deal, at least in my opinion, of being stupid for Nico Harris. Like if Nico Harrison is forever gonna go down as one of the dumbest general managers ever. This right here though just shows you that AK is a close second. Like he is close to being the second dumbest general manager or president of basketball operations, whatever you want to call him, right here. Like that's it. We are officially have seen the 2 stupidest front offices in the NBA make 2 trades in the last 24 hours. Don't worry about Patrick Williams. Oh, God. Yeah, we have Patrick Williams. We got Huerter. Yeah. No, I don't think the Vooch for Capella thing is going to happen. I think Vooch is going to Golden State now. More of this trade means we're going to back to trying to compete since we have our own pick now. I think the biggest reason why they wanted their pick back is just because, let's say, because they're probably going to keep the pick this year no matter what, right? So let's say you kept the pick and you didn't get your pick back, right? What would happen is you're then obligated to give your pick over to the Spurs in 2026, right? but it's top 8 protected. So like the whole thing is just basically them saying, okay, we need to make sure that we always have our pick moving forward and we don't accidentally just give it to the Spurs, right? Whether it's just bad lottery luck or you're just not bad enough, right? So that's the reason why they wanted their pick back so bad. But in my opinion, it still doesn't make any sense. You're trading Zach now, right? So you don't need to worry about getting your pick back and losing your pick anymore for especially this year, okay? You then traded Zach. So then, assuming that the way that things go, you should probably be bad then the next year, right? So you shouldn't even be worried about this. You should still just be fine. So if you're so damn worried about, oh, we're gonna give our 2028 pick to San Antonio if that pick doesn't convey, like, then what the hell is this deal then? Like, you're still being stupid as hell in this sort of deal. But you're right. Actually, Salty Solution, after now I've talked this through, you might be right. You might actually be right saying that they're trying to still compete and they just want to make sure they have their pick moving forward. And we're not like, oh, we'll still make the play in every single season. And the pick back removes obligations. Yes, it does remove future obligations. Or the removes the obligations for the future years too. It does. Yes. So we don't have to worry about that. But it still doesn't make any sense to me. If you're trading Zach LaVine, I at least need to make sure that if you're getting your pick back, you need more than just this, bro. Like, you got nothing out of this deal. Kevin Huerter, I mean, you better trade him immediately, at least in my opinion. Zach Collins is a salary filler. He's barely even playing. Trey Jones is okay. Like, nice, sure, young player. But you got your pick back. Like, that's not enough. I'm sorry. That just isn't enough. I'm not asking for amazing things for Zach, but you need to get more than what you just got today. I'm sorry. Still hasn't updated. Come on, fucking Spot Track. I'm trying to pull up Zach Collins' contract, but Spot Track's just going through an aneurysm because everyone's on the website right now, and I don't blame everybody. But Spot Track needs to get better servers or something because it's too much traffic. Nah, I'm sorry, bro. This is unacceptable. Straight up unacceptable. All right, here we go. So here's Zach Collins' contract. It's this year, and next year he's making $18 million. So, I mean, I don't know, bro. You just added Kevin Huerter's contract and Zach Collins' contract. You're basically still contract strapped. You decided to trade Zach because you're pissed off about the contract and he's making so much money and taking up your salary cap space. You then decided to go get two guys who have 2 years left on their deal. One is making $18 million next season. The other's making like 17. That makes no damn sense. I'm sorry. You still basically have Zach LaVine on your books then. Like, what are you doing? Zach LaVine has a player option for this year. I was already saying, though, he's going to decline it. Like, there's no shot he accepts it. So this still doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, bro. I'm losing my mind. Unacceptable. Straight up an unacceptable deal, honestly. Compete for the worst team. I mean, that should be the plan, right? The plan should be to compete for the worst team to be the worst team in the NBA, right? But my point is this: if you're gonna be the worst team in the damn NBA, you don't need to get your pick back, okay? Like, you don't need to get it back. And remember, if let's say, for example, for the Bulls, okay, if let's say you keep your pick in 2025, 2026, and 2027, you don't have to give a first round pick to San Antonio then, okay? What you would be giving is a 2028 second round pick to San Antonio, okay? So if the plan is to be the worst damn team in the NBA, right, you don't need to get your pick back. You can just be bad, and then you'll still keep your pick. You don't need to get your pick back, okay? With the way that Zach LaVine has played this season, you at least need to get one first round pick that is not your own pick back, okay? You need to at least get one first round pick. It can have protections on it. That's fine. But you need to at least get one first round pick out of this. You got none. You instead trade a second round pick that you got in the DeMar DeRozan deal back to Sacramento in this deal. That's unacceptable. Because those Bulls aren't done. Yeah, the Bulls should not be done. They genuinely need to trade Vooch immediately now. Like, Torrey Craig needs to go. I'm honestly saying that with with Kobe. Kobe, I think, needs to go. Like, I'm being serious now. I think Kobe White needs to go at this point. Zach is not reading out with DeMar DeRozan, who the Bulls get back in return. Okay, if you're just tuning in, here's the full trade. The Bulls got in this deal Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, their own 2025 pick back, which means that the Bulls will not have to give a pick to San Antonio if a pick in the 2025, 2026, or 2027 drafts, if it happened to fall either out of the top 10 in this year or the top 8 in 2026 and 2027. Straight up, I don't understand this deal whatsoever. Trey Jones is probably the best thing in this deal. He's an unrestricted free agent after this season. Kevin Huerter and Zach Collins next season, they combine, let's see, I'll just count this as $18 million. So these two guys combine to make $36 million next season for the Bulls. Okay. Like, Zach LaVine next season is making $43 million. Or sorry, $46 million. Okay. So congratulations. You got $10 million in cap space, I guess, or $10 million of flexibility. So you wanted flexibility, but instead you only got $10 million of it. Congratulations. You did amazing. They're both on 2-year deals, so it's not like one is gone after this season. Okay. And the guy that I would like to have under contract is going to be an unrestricted free agent after this year. Chief C, currently right now, where the Bulls currently sit, you have a 97% chance of keeping your pick currently right now, okay? Where the Bulls currently sit right now in the standings, they are currently 9th in the lottery standings, okay? We're talking 9th, all right? They have a 97% chance of keeping the pick currently right now, okay? The Philadelphia 76ers are on our ass, okay? So we honestly could have been passed up by Philly if you just trade Zach. If you just trade Zach, you're going to get passed up by Philly, okay? If you get passed up by Philly, you have a 99% chance of keeping the pick this season. 99%. You're keeping the pick. Portland's also on our ass, bro. Portland is a game behind us. You trade Zach, you're keeping the pick this season. 1,000,000%. You're going to be worse than Portland and Philly the next, 2.5 months or whatever, okay? You're going to be worse. You're keeping the pick, all right? But currently, as we sit today, even before the trade went down, okay, the Bulls have a 97% chance of keeping the pick right now. 97! You just need to trade Zach. That's all you got to do. If you want to keep the pick this year, you just got to trade Zach. That's it. Yes, Trey Jones just gives us some kind of choice. We want to move Kobe or Io. I think an Io deal might be on the horizon, honestly. Like, I won't be shocked if that is the case. If Io is moved here, it wouldn't be shocking to me. Okay, is there anything else that I need to know? Like, did Casey Johnson say anything or anything like that? This isn't correct. We don't have a pick. Oh wait, we do. Wait, no. Sorry, we don't have a pick. Yeah. So Casey worded this wrong. This pick right here, this pick was sent to San Antonio in the DeMar DeRozan deal when we got DeRozan. So they then decided to trade that pick to Sacramento now. So this is incorrect. I don't know why Casey Johnson worded it like that. This is incorrect here. I don't understand this whole thing. Unless I'm wrong and I'm reading this incorrectly, but it says 31-54 to San Antonio and 55-59 to Sacramento, right? From San Antonio, right? And then we have Sacramento's pick this year because we got that in the DeMar DeRozan deal. So unless we sent this pick also in the DeMar DeRozan deal, that would be insane if we did that. But for what I'm seeing right now, right? Like the 2025 this is from Bobby Marks, right? The 2025 Chicago second is from the DeMar DeRozan deal, okay? So that was owned by San Antonio. San Antonio then just sent that to Sacramento, okay? And then this is the one that we sent, though. This is the one that makes no damn sense to me. We sent Sacramento's pick back that we got in the DeMar DeRozan deal. I don't understand that whatsoever. That it makes no damn sense. I'm sorry, but I genuinely do not understand this. Hey, Gammy's he's worse than Garpax? Probably, bro. They're not going to bottom out long enough to keep the pick for 3 years, though. Okay, but then you gotta get picks in return, right? Like this isn't enough. This isn't enough, bro. I'm just saying again. If you're gonna bottom out, if you're trading Zach, you're bottoming out. Okay, right? So that means that you're keeping your pick this year. Okay, then most likely you're keeping your pick next year because you're gonna be definitely one of the worst 3 teams in the league. Okay. Then after that, it's 2027. And sure, if that's a big thing to keep that pick, yeah, all right. I don't think it's worth it. I would have much rather have gotten the pick from somewhere else, though. Because I think in 2027 still, you probably have a good chance of keeping that pick, too. Oh, you have ads on? Sorry. Wait, oh, no. Fuck. Sorry, I accidentally hit the ad button. My fault. Abs are off. I remember he said the AK has been interested in Herter for a while. He's probably looking at her as a long-term piece. Probably. I'm sorry. I think Kevin Herter, like, his best years are probably behind him, honestly. I know it's crazy to say, but I don't really know what to really expect moving forward. I mean, I forgot he's only... Okay, I thought he was 28 for some reason, so maybe his best years are still ahead of him, but I don't really know. I think this is a guy that... I mean, he's had a... Like, he's coming off the bench, like... I'm not really seeing anything special with him. I know that people underrate him defensively, but I don't personally look at him as anything special. So, I mean, moving forward, I guess you're going to have both Kevin Herter and Patrick Williams off your bench. 2 guys that are basically making $16 and $18 million off the bench. Awesome. Great job, AK. Great. How do we not get a single second-round pick from the Spurs? That's the part I don't understand. Like, that's the part that I'm genuinely, like, I don't understand this. Like, how did we not get anything else in this deal? We traded a pick to Sacramento in this deal. That doesn't make any sense. I trade Kobe instead. I'm all for trading Kobe, honestly. Vooch to the Lakers next. It's to need a center. No, Vooch is not going to the Lakers. I promise you that. Vooch is either going to go to the Warriors or like it's bust. Like the Lakers need a rim protector center. Like you're not going to go trade for one of the worst defensive centers in the league right now. Now that you have Luka Doncic, right? You need to go and trade for like a Miles Turner or a Nick Claxton, a Clint Capella, etc. Okay. You don't need a guy that can shoot threes at center if you have Luka Doncic. You need a guy that's gonna have vertical spacing, which is rim running, right? And be one of the best finishers around the basket because Luka is just gonna be throwing lobs up to the guy. That's the reason why Derek Lively looked amazing is because Luka just kept throwing lobs up to Derek Lively, bro. So Vooch to the Lakers makes no sense. I promise you that's not gonna happen. Casey Johnson's basically already said it's not gonna happen. It's basically, at least from what I see, again, I don't have insider info, but from what I see, what people are saying is that it's either Vooch is going to the Warriors or it's like nothing at all. Like that's it. At least we have direction. I don't know, Taro, though. Like I don't know. That's the thing. Like, do we have direction? Like, maybe. I would hope. Like, I would hope that the Bulls are gonna bottom out here and try to actually get the top pick in 2026 here. In which, what I mean by that, again, I'm not saying we need to fall out tank, but like that means trading Kobe. That means potentially even trading Giddey here. Like I'm honestly all for it. Like trading guys that don't really need to be on this roster moving forward. Like I'd honestly be okay if you know, moving forward where it's just like, yeah, we don't really have anybody that's like 25 or older on the roster. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we actually have direction. Because reminder, in this deal, you're trading for Kevin Huerter, who is 26 and soon to be 27. You're trading for Zach Collins, who is 28, 27. Trey Jones is 25, which again, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent after this season. So I don't know if you're even going to keep him. I would hope. But I don't like this at all. I'm hoping that you are gonna, you know, you're gonna actually bottom out here and like trade all the guys that aren't gonna be part of this roster moving forward. Like, yeah, I mean, Lonzo better be gone, Vooch better be gone. Like, we're talking like, you know, everybody that's even like sort of a vet needs to be gone. Like again, even Josh Giddey, I wouldn't mind it honestly. I know a lot of people want to keep him, but like I'm just like, nah, I'm fine. But like Kobe, again, like I'm fine if he's gone, but it's just that I don't know. This sort of deal sounds like, yo, we just wanted Zach off the roster. We don't really care about rebuilding, or else we would have gotten more picks in return here. And we're not sending out a second rounder in this deal. And we're gonna try to actually still be relevant with Zach Collins as the Vucevic replacement, with Trey Jones as our Kobe White replacement, and we get Kevin Huerter, who's our Zach LaVine replacement. Like, that just sounds like what it is. Like, that's the part that I'm freaking out about here, because I'm like, this doesn't signal a full-out rebuild, right? That it doesn't signal, oh yeah, like we're officially rebuilding. Like, I don't understand it. That means we won't get anything good for Vucevic either. We should still trade him at the moment, otherwise. I mean, yeah, I've been saying, bro, you need to just trade Vooch, right? You need to trade Vooch. I don't care what I genuinely do not care what the return is for Vooch. I've been basically preparing myself for us to get just a bag of bricks for Vucevic, okay? But you need to trade Vooch just for something now, because again, his value will never be any higher, all right? It's declining as the days and the seconds tick by, okay? Like, you need to just trade Vooch for whatever you can get. If you get a second round pick out of Nikola Vucevic, great, awesome, you did your job. Because it's not going to get better down the road. There's no, and especially now that you've traded Zach, there is absolutely no reason for you to keep Nikola Vucevic around. So you got to trade Vooch immediately now. So you have 4 days to do it. Our direction is we are worse. This year's pick we owe to the Spurs doesn't convert to 2 seconds. Which, again, it would have only converted to 1, but sure. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Hey, at least we get to see LaVine and Debo reunite on the Kings. I'm going to be interested to see what they do, though, with that. Like, we already know that combo doesn't work, right? Like, I really don't think that combination really works at the end of the day, but they might actually be, like, looking to trade Zach immediately. If, like, the Warriors are, like, genuinely interested, right, then I'd be looking to see, like, oh, you're gonna then just like trade Zach to the Warriors or something, because again, that's legal. You just can't send anybody else in the deal if you're the Kings. But if they're genuinely gonna try to make this work again, where it's like Malik Monk is your point guard, and you have LaVine as your 2, DeRozan's your 3, Keegan Murray's your 4, and Sabonis is your 5, like, where's the defense? Like, as much as I love LaVine, I love Sabonis. And DeRozan obviously is still DeMar DeRozan. Like, that team defensively is in hell. I don't know where the defense comes from. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So are they trading DeMar DeRozan? Like, that's the only thing I can really think about, right? Okay, Jordan, like, I agree. Like, Zach LaVine and Kevin Huerter are not comparable, okay? I completely agree with that. But what I'm saying, though, is that if you're going to go get a starting shooting guard to replace Zach LaVine, right, as like, okay, we're still being competitive, we're still trying to win as many games as possible, and we needed just a decent quality starting shooting guard, then congratulations, here's Kevin Huerter. Here you go. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I genuinely think that this is what they're thinking, is that, oh, we'll still be competitive. We got Kevin Huerter, we got Zach Collins to replace Vooch, right? And we'll still try to go and be competitive. We're not bottoming out. Like, that makes no damn sense. If that is the plan here, I'm losing my mind. Like, we actually need to go into a full rebuild, like right now. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that. We're doing both, trying to rebuild, compete for the plan. Bro, that's just, oh my God. And again, rebuilding means, okay, my definition of a rebuild, if you're wondering what my definition of a rebuild is, okay, my definition of a rebuild is you're trying to accumulate as much young talent in as little amount of time, okay? Rebuilding doesn't mean tank. Rebuilding doesn't mean, oh, we need to make sure that we get the #1 overall pick. It's nice, right? But rebuilding means you need to do anything in your willpower to make sure that you get as much young talent in a short amount of time, okay? That's what rebuilding means. This trade right here, you got Trey Jones, who is 25 years old, so you can't even declare him as a young player, okay? And you got your pick back. So that's the part that I'm just saying. I'm like, I don't know if this is actually a rebuild. I'm saying that this is we want Zach LaVine off the roster. We got our pick back. Congratulations. We're still going to try to be competitive. Will you resign Trey Jones? Feel better about the trade? I have to let me just make sure Trey Jones here. Okay, yeah, we have bird rights on him. I mean, the Bulls should be able to resign him easily. It really shouldn't cost too much. All right, Rob. Okay, I know you're behind, Rob, because I saw your message, but listen to me about this, okay? Right now, if you're the Chicago Bulls right now, okay, I've talked about this consistently with this current team in mind, all right? If you do trade Kobe White, which I think you should, if you trade Patrick Williams, or sorry, not Patrick, if you trade Nikola Vucevic, if you trade all the vets off your roster, okay, with the current young talent on this team, right? Like, who has the most potential on this team right now? Of all the young players, okay? Who has the most potential of all the young players currently on this roster currently, like right now? We're talking about right now before any more trades go down here. We're talking about right now between everyone that's 25 or younger, who has the most potential, okay? The answer to that question is Montes Buzelis, okay? So automatically though, if you're saying to me that, oh, the Bulls are if you try to bottom out, you're hampering your development, I'm sorry, but I don't see much young talent on this roster anyway, okay? You're gonna be bad. If you just straight up, like, you don't have any vets on this roster and you're trying to win games, okay? You're trying to win as many games as you want, you're gonna be bad. Because you don't have much young talent on this roster anyway, okay? Assuming you do keep Giddey and you keep Buzelis, and I'm not sure about the other guys right now, but if those are your only two guys in terms of young developmental players, okay, you're going to be bad. I promise you're going to be bad, okay? So it's not necessarily losing on purpose, okay? You're just going to be a bad team. You're just going to be bad. You don't have some sort of mega superstar coming in, okay? We hope to get Cooper Flagg in this upcoming draft. It's not a guarantee. You're probably gonna have the 9th overall pick this upcoming draft, right? So that again is not gonna be a guy you're adding is gonna be, oh, future superstar. We got it, right? So 2026 then is the earliest you're gonna be able to draft potentially a new, up and coming superstar, right? That's his rookie season. You're gonna also be bad in 2027. This is when I'm talking about you're trying to win. I'm not saying to actively tank. I'm saying you're trying to win with this current roster. You're not gonna be good. Just go look at the freaking Wizards. They have Jordan Poole on the roster. They're not good, okay? They have Kyle Kuzma. They have Jonas Valanciunas, for God's sake. You're not going to be good. In the next 3 years, after you trade Zach and you don't have any vets on the roster, you're just going to be bad. I promise you. You will be bad, even if you're actively trying to win, okay? That's the reason why, to me, this doesn't make any sense. You are going to be bad no matter what. You didn't need to get your pick back. I'm sorry you just didn't. But not to mention then, you went out and got 2 vets that just are on 2 contracts that go on for the next 2 seasons, right? You try to free up salary cap space and you freed up $10 million. That's nothing. That's not salary cap space. You just shed $10 million off your salary books, okay? You got Trey Jones, who's an unrestricted free agent you have to pay this summer. Oh, by the way, you also have to pay Josh Giddey this summer too. It's not good. I'm sorry, this is not a good trade. You can't convince me any other way. This is horrible for the Bulls, okay? This trade alone is horrible. That Kings line's not good up for a second round. I agree. There's no shot. They get a big trade exception they can use to get more compensation. No. Also, who's getting axed to clear the extra 2 roster spots? Are you talking about the Bulls? If my math is correct here, I don't think the Bulls get any trade exception. I mean that serious. If I'm trying to figure this out, if I'm reading this all correctly, I just don't. I don't think this trade makes any sense in terms of trade exceptions, because the math, at least in my head, is that like Zach Collins makes about 16, Kevin Herter makes about 17, right? So for the Bulls, right, like 16, let's just say 17, right? So that's $34 million. And then you add in Trey Jones, that's $9 million, right? That covers for Zach LaVine's contract. You're already fine. You're not gonna get a trade exception out of this. Also, is actually the extra 2 roster spots. I think Nikola Vucevic needs to be traded immediately. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, someone has to get traded here soon. Because you are right. Like, we are getting some extra players here, so I don't know who's gonna get cut. AK uses us retooling so we can fight to stay in the plan. Yeah, I actually think that's what we're doing right now. Keep Kobe? This is a question: who has the most potential? I disagree. I think Josh Giddey does not have the most potential over Buzelis. We got the Bulls need to make up their minds on Lonzo. I think Lonzo might be getting traded like in the next day or so. Yeah, I won't be surprised if that does happen. Stein says Golden State were looking at ways to get both LaVine and Vooch before moving on. Makes sense. That would have been like an Omega like big move, right? If the Warriors were able to do that. It's so questionable because again, you're getting Vucevic, which is just like I don't really know how that works for you. Which I've already talked about that for the Warriors, but it would have been a pretty massive move though. Not sure that means they're out on Vucevic. I don't think that means they're out, but I think they were very clearly looking at like, yeah, that is the team to like, or sorry, yeah, they're not out on Vooch, but if they really wanted to make like that big splash deal, they needed to get Zach. And so I don't know. No, you're not getting a first round pick for expiring Lonzo Ball and a 34-year-old Nikola Vucevic. You're not getting first. We still able to get a top. Okay, so Taro, we basically got our pick back. Okay, so it's no longer top 10 protected. Okay, so let me explain this one more time for everybody. All right, so this deal for the Bulls that we just talked about. Okay, this Zach LaVine deal, we got our pick back. Okay, so this was the pick that was sent into the DeMar DeRozan deal to get DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls. Okay, it was top 10 protected. However, in this deal, the San Antonio Spurs have given the Bulls complete rights to their pick back. So it doesn't matter where the Bulls land now, right? So the Bulls can land at somehow like number 20 or whatever. They'll keep their pick. Okay, obviously that won't happen, but we're gonna keep our pick no matter what happens. Okay, we have full rights to our pick. So not only does it make sure that we keep our pick this year, which we had a 97% chance of keeping anyway. All right, but it then makes sure that in the future years that if we don't give the pick this year, right, then it's like, oh, top 8 protected 2026 and 2027. And we don't accidentally give it to the Spurs in those years, okay? But for me, it just doesn't make any sense because it's like, you're going to be bad no matter what, okay? You're probably already going to keep the pick this year, okay? But then in 2026 and 2027, you're also just going to be bad. Like, I'm not saying you're going to be tanking. I'm just saying that with the lack of current potential on this team, okay? With the only guy that I'm looking at as part of the future that is like guaranteed starter is Montes Buzelis. And I know Josh Giddey, everyone loves him right now for some reason, but I'm not that big on Josh Giddey right now. But between just those two guys, okay, you are looking at a very bad team in terms of overall potential, right? That's not good. Like, you're not going to be winning games with those two guys as your main 2 players moving forward, okay? So that's if the Bulls straight up like, okay, we're going to get rid of all the vets, we go young only, and it's Buzelis and Giddey's team, you're looking bad. I promise you're going to look bad, okay? So I don't know why the Bulls thought that they desperately needed to get their pick back. Don't know the whole thought process of that, but you trading Zach LaVine alone should have guaranteed that you're going to keep your pick this year, okay? Zach LaVine off the roster, because he's basically flat out carried the Bulls on offense this season. You're going to be awful next year, okay? You're going to be straight up bad next year, all right? So I don't think you need to keep the pick, or you need to try to get your pick back because you'll probably keep the pick anyway. It doesn't make much sense to me, but that's just my opinion. Salty solution. If that trade happens, I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, the 17 roster spots was an extra 2. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna, like, there has to be some sort of deal here. Like, maybe Zach Collins does get moved, right? And then this looks a little bit better in terms of the direction, right? I still hate the trade, but maybe Zach Collins gets moved. Maybe Kevin Huerter does get moved. So then at least we're officially then rebuilding. But again, I don't know. I don't know if this is an actual rebuild, guys. Like, I'm being dead serious. This might be we're trying to still be competitive move. Like, I'm being serious right now. Do I talk to the Kings front office that getting Zach has to be? I don't think so, honestly. If I'm the Sacramento Kings, if I'm able to trade De'Aaron Fox for 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and Zach LaVine, I absolutely do it. Knowing that De'Aaron Fox wants out and wants to go to San Antonio, I absolutely do that trade. I don't even need to think twice about it. I definitely do that trade. Are you kidding? Like, De'Aaron Fox basically messed up the Sacramento Kings by saying, oh, I want to go to the San Antonio Spurs, okay? That basically takes away all leverage the Sacramento Kings have when it comes to De'Aaron Fox, okay? So in any sort of trade scenarios, the Sacramento Kings do not have any leverage, okay? So they were able to turn that lack of leverage into 3 first-round picks and Zach LaVine. That sounds pretty damn good, because you can then either trade Zach, or if you're going to trade DeRozan, then trade DeRozan, but you're probably not done with all the moves, right? You're probably able to move on from either Zach or DeRozan or whatever you want to do, okay? Like, you'll be fine. You'll definitely be able to move on. But this, to me, bro, it's just, for the Bulls, I don't understand this at all. Like, you at least need to get 1 first-round pick. Again, it could be protected. I don't care. You need to at least get 1 first-round pick if you're trading Zach LaVine. You can't just be getting your pick back, okay, that you already had a 97% chance of keeping right now currently. And again, you're trading Zach. You're most likely going to keep it. It's going to increase your odds of keeping it anyway this year. You don't need to desperately be, oh, we got to pray to get our pick back, bro. Like, that's just not the case. Large to the Warriors, book it. We'll see. Doubt it, though. What's going on, Box? I know you're probably pissed about it. 5 months ago, they would have had to attach Josh's move Zach, so it could be worse. So here's the thing. I understand that would have been the case if, like, we had to trade Zach, we would have had to attach assets. Why would you do that, though? Like, you just wait. Hence today, right? You just wait. You just wait to see, right? If you're going to bet on a 29-year-old to have a damn good season, which you did, then, yeah, you don't have to wait. Like, you don't have to trade Zach and attach assets to trade him, okay? Hence what we just did today. You don't need to do that. So, yeah, it could have been worse, sure. But either way, at least in my opinion, this is flat out disgusting. This is not a good return. Giddy can't be what they're building around, or we're screwed. I won't be shocked if we are building around them. They can just chasing that high, finding a good white underappreciated center like they did with Jokic with Zach Collins and Vucevic. Too bad these guys are properly appreciated. Oh my god, if that is the case, bro. Oh my god. Don't we still owe 26-27 to the Spurs? So, all right, let me just make this clear one more time, okay? So, 2026 and 2027 was sent to Washington so that we could draft Julian Phillips in the 2023 draft, okay? So, those picks were not sent to the Spurs. Those were sent to Washington, okay? The 2028 pick would have been sent to the Spurs if we didn't have to, if we didn't give our picks in 2026, 2027, okay? But if you're asking about specifically the picks, okay, we don't owe these picks anymore because we have the full rights to our pick now, okay? So these protections that are on the 2026 and 2027 pick, okay, those are gone. We have our picks completely now, okay? Because we got our pick back, therefore we didn't have to put protections on that pick, and we don't have to put protections on future picks, okay? So we officially do not have to trade our picks in 2026 and 2027, and also now in 2025, no matter what, we own our draft from here on out, okay? Our own picks are going to be owned by us, no matter what, okay? We are not giving up any picks anymore, or any of our own picks anymore, okay? We have full control of our draft, all right? So I just want to make this clear. But Rob, you're not getting a top 5 pick. I mean, I guess maybe if you do get a top 4 pick this year, sure, my argument goes out the window. But at least in my opinion, you're probably not going to get that, right? You're probably gonna end at 9, so you're not getting a top 4 pick this year. So to me, that doesn't make the argument. I just completely disagree with your argument. We're a shifty franchise. Oh, bro, we are absolutely a shifty franchise. Oh my god. We are in the depths of hell. We are not that we're not Dallas Mavericks fans right now. Like, I'm telling you right now, I would much rather be a Bulls fan than a Dallas Mavericks fan, because if the Bulls traded Luka Doncic away, I would be losing my mind. I would be livid currently. Like, I would be so pissed off that I don't know if I'd be able to stream, honestly. But this right here is flat out disgusting what the Bulls just did. This is not enough. I swear to God, we're back to being a mid-league team again. We traded Zach LaVine just to get Zach LaVine off the roster, and we're back to being trying to play for the play-in again. Basically what Viper Strike is saying. Generally, what possible other utility would they need to retain the pick fully, plus trading off LaVine, unless they're going to send it out for someone? Wait, what do you mean by that, Camille? I don't understand that. I don't understand the message. Like, generally, what possible other utility would they need to retain the pick fully, plus trading off Zach, unless they're going to send it out for someone? So you're saying that what other things would the Bulls had to have given up to get their pick back and just trade Zach, just get their pick back? Like, I guess that's the question. To me, I don't think you need to do anything else, because they traded a second rounder in this deal. So to me, it makes no damn sense. You should be able to get a first round pick. Again, you're taking back salary fillers. Okay, this is Zach Collins. You took back Zach Collins and Kevin Huerter. Like, these are two guys that don't play a lot, that are one's coming off the bench now after being a starter for most of his career. Zach Collins has pretty much just been relegated to the bench now because of Wembanyama being so damn good, and he's played in 36 out of however many games this year. But he's just a salary filler. Okay, like, this isn't a guy that's just like good or anything. Like, he's a guy comes off your bench. Like, you shouldn't need to do anything else. Yeah, the Bulls can maybe jump up to 7. Still, though, you're not talking top 4 or top 3. Not really 3 first-round picks for the Kings. The Charlotte pick is protected, not conveying. So I understand that pick's not conveying, but we have to wait and see what the rest of it looks like, right? Like, that's what I'm saying with the Charlotte pick. Like, we know that the Charlotte pick's not conveying this year, but what else is on it, right? Like, we know this, okay? Oh, hold on. Then does it turn into 2 seconds or something? Okay, so it turns into 2 seconds then. Oh wait, maybe it turns into 3 seconds? I don't know, bro. But either way, you're gonna get something, right? Like, the first round pick's not gonna convey, but you're at least probably gonna get something out of it. I don't know exactly. If I'm reading this correctly, they get 3 first round picks from Charlotte. Or sorry, 3 second round picks from Charlotte. If I'm reading this correctly. Wait, no, sorry. No, that's incorrect. No, this is not. Sorry, this isn't part of it. Okay. So they get 2 second round picks out of it. So, all right, sure. So the Sacramento Kings, they got 2 first round picks and 5 second round picks out of the deal. Go from the middle. Yep. Chief C, I agree, but you can't get anything from San Antonio. San Antonio is getting De'Aaron Fox in this deal. Okay, like how can we not complicate? Like there's a way to figure this out. The Sacramento Kings, they're getting Zach LaVine 2 first-round picks and 5 second-round picks. Okay, you gotta get something out of this. How much are ratings down? I don't know, honestly, at this point. I do genuinely believe most teams didn't value LaVine for a first-round pick. However, I wish we got a second-round pick instead of a role player. Okay, sure. If you can't get a first-round pick for Zach LaVine, you need to go and get at least 3 second-rounders or something like that, okay? The fact that you traded a second-round pick in this deal is insane. That makes no damn sense. Why are the Warriors one of the few teams who are projected and overpay for players? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying, Camille. So it's like, it's either you trade Zach, right, and you get to keep your pick, right, and you're fine moving forward, or you try to make a deal that gets your pick back, right, and you keep Zach, right? I agree with you completely. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely do not understand the logic. Well, about to fall to 13th? I don't know about 13th, but we're definitely going to be falling. I can see us falling to 12th. We're definitely going to get passed by Philly, by the way. Like, hey, I promise you, we will get passed by Philly now. Even if Embiid doesn't play another game for the rest of the season, we're going to get passed by Philly now. Tyrese Maxey's too good. Toronto is obviously, I mean, they've won 5 of their last 6. We are somehow the only win, the only L for them. So I think there's a possibility. With Brooklyn, that's going to be interesting to watch because that's 5 games that we'd have to make up. And I understand it's the same thing with Toronto here, it's the same record, but Toronto's on their way up recently. So I think there's a chance we fall to 12th. I don't know about 13th specifically. But we definitely fall to 11. And again, by the way, if you're wondering, Portland is at 20 and 29. They're a half a game behind us. So Portland is definitely going to be passing us up here. Or at least I think they should be, which I guess that's not a guarantee, but we should definitely be falling from Philly. Personally, I know chances were low, but I was constantly checking Tankathon, cheering for crappy teams like the Hawks, so we couldn't lose our pick. Now I can stop. I mean, yeah, at least that's the good thing, is that you don't have to keep checking Tankathon, right? Like, well, no matter what, we're gonna keep our pick. But I'm being dead serious, bro. I think we're trying for the play-in. I'm being dead serious. If I would have sent Dennis, GP2, JK, and Hell draft capital for LaVine. So I already had the Zach LaVine trade like drew up in my head. It was gonna be like you need GP2. You have to include Buddy Hield or Kyle Anderson and maybe even both. Okay, and likely also Kevon Looney, and you would have to include one of either Moses Moody or Pajimski. Okay, you would then have to give the Warriors have to give the 2025 pick, like their 2025 pick this year. Throw in, let's make it top 5 protected. But I think that would have been the deal. And if the Bulls did that, I would have been okay. You'd have obviously you're getting a pick from the Warriors. And again, even if it's not even a first round pick, you get draft capital, and you're not sending out a second round pick in this deal, and you get Moses Moody out of the deal. So we'll see. But that's not a guarantee. Maybe that was never going to happen. Lost to the Suns, maybe it'll ease off playmaking responsibilities for Booker. I don't know how the Phoenix Suns pull that off, though. I think the Phoenix Suns are they can't even trade for Lonzo. They're so far into the second apron that they can't aggregate contracts. And I guess the one guy they could trade is Yusuf Nurkic, but that's not enough money being sent out. So already, yeah, I'm going to tell you right now that's not possible. The Phoenix Suns would have to find a way to get under the second apron, which they're $28 million into the second apron. So it's not possible. So because reminder, if you're in the second apron, if you're whatever money you trade out is the money that you can only get back. So if they trade Jusuf Nurkic out, the most amount of money they can get back in return via contract is $18 million. Okay, they can't go and trade Jusuf Nurkic for a $20 million contract. Okay, hence trying to trade Jusuf Nurkic for Lonzo Ball. Right, it's not possible. Okay, it's just basically impossible. So the only way for Lonzo Ball to get to the Phoenix Suns is if they trade Bradley Beal, and we all know that that's never going to happen. So. We'll get second round picks back when we trade Vucevic, Craig, and White. Okay, so if that is the case, why couldn't we get second round picks back also in the Zach LaVine deal? Just because we can get second round picks from some other player that we trade doesn't mean that you can't maximize the return for what you're trading currently. Okay, that's yet again, this is the whole thing about the Alex Caruso deal. I wasn't asking for a first round pick for Alex Caruso. Okay, it should have probably happened. The Oklahoma City Thunder have a load of picks. They can send us one of the worst first round picks that they have. Okay. But you at least needed to get 2 second rounders out of that Alex Caruso deal. Instead, you only got Josh Giddey. Doesn't make any sense. Just because people are, oh my God, Josh Giddey, we love Josh Giddey. Just because it's just Josh Giddey, he's coming off one of a horrible playoff performance. His value's at an all-time low. You need to leverage that and say, hey, can we at least get some 2 second rounders out of it? There's nothing wrong with getting 2 second rounders out of a trade that you think is fair. If a guy that you're trading for has an all-time low value, you should try to get extra out of that trade. You should always try. But clearly the Bulls haven't tried. They're not doing things correctly. Can't wait to see what Zach and DeMar look like with a shooting/passing European center. 4th overall pick moving forward. Pick at forward, and a former Laker guard. Oh my God, the Sacramento Kings just built the Chicago Bulls, but better players, I guess. That is actually insane, bro. AV Breeze, you need to tweet that out immediately if you haven't tweeted that out. That is so funny. I can't wait to watch that, especially a center that doesn't play defense, right? And a center, I mean, he's better than Vooch, but he doesn't really play defense either. Yeah, and then at point guard, if it's actually Malik Monk at point guard, it's actually a former Laker guard, and it's a very similar type player, right? So the Sacramento Kings basically are banking that the 2021 early season success that they had with that roster is going to come to fruition with this current team, right? So you're going to have, you basically have to replicate what happened in the early 2021-22 season. Like, that is basically what they're banking on. So it's possible, right? I mean, you have Sabonis, who is much better than Vucevic, okay? DeRozan's older, though. So I don't know how that exactly is going to work out. And I think Keegan Murray is obviously better than Patrick Williams. But, I don't know. I don't really have much faith in that, honestly. I'm going to be interested in see what exactly that looks like. So I'll be paying very close attention to the Sacramento Kings to see how they really work. DeMar and Zach worked when Lonzo was there. Now the Kings don't have a point guard. They basically made the Bulls West. Yep. That's crazy, bro. That is actually hilarious, AV Breeze. That's so damn funny. I mean, here you go. Here's the trade. Trade's officially in. So yeah, I guess, I mean, I'm assuming it's Malik Monk. I seriously doubt you're gonna start Keon Ellis at point guard, but I guess DeMar DeRozan can technically be your point guard, right? Yeah, I don't like this, honestly. I'm being dead serious. I don't like this for the Kings. Like, in terms of overall fit. I love the return you got for De'Aaron Fox. I love the return. Like, in terms of just, forget fit here. Like, in terms of getting the most you can get back for De'Aaron Fox, you maximize that return very effectively, okay? 2 first-round picks, and again, I'm just saying this just because the Charlotte Hornets pick is not going to convey. But you got 2 first-round picks, and you got 5 second-round picks out of the deal, okay? And you also got Zach LaVine, so if you actually need to trade Zach LaVine, you can trade him, okay? So again, like, you can trade Zach this offseason if it doesn't work. And you can get whatever you can for Zach again. Or you trade DeMar DeRozan if necessary. But in terms of maximizing value, they did a damn good job. In terms of fit, this specific fit, I hate how this looks. I won't lie. I generally don't like how this looks at all. But they'll probably be, I guess, better than recent Bulls, at least. Who's gonna get Vooch? I don't know. The best chance is Warriors, honestly. I feel like that trade needs to go down like immediately soon. Oh, another load off my mind. No Beal. I swear people kept talking about it and making me scary, even though it made no sense. I mean, Viper Strike, I talked about it just because, like, there was a possibility. I do think that there was a chance. It was, like, you know, minuscule, but, like, you know, anything's possible with this front office, right? So, yeah, I don't really know. I understand where it's like, yeah, I really think that it is a little bit concerning, right? But you know, at the end of the day, we're looking at probably not going to happen, right? It's just that, and again, we thought Luka Doncic couldn't be traded, and yet he was traded yesterday. Okay, so as much as I want to say that Bradley Beal, there's no way in hell the Bulls take on Bradley Beal, right? You know, Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers yesterday, so you know anything can happen in this league, honestly. Trade makes Nico look even worse somehow. Not only did Fox net a much bigger haul than Luka, but Spurs/Kings are clearly coming for those late play-in spots. Oh, for sure. Yeah. For yet again, I don't understand this for the Mavericks. This does make the Mavericks trade look worse. I agree. Warriors, Lakers, probably. Warriors. It's not gonna be Lakers. I promise you, Vooch is not going to the Lakers. I promise you that. Imagine the Mavs miss the playoffs after this win now move. Oh my god! If the Mavericks miss the playoffs, Nico Harrison actually needs to be in witness protection. Dr. Shy, Dr. Shy, can you repeat what you're saying? I don't understand this. If what you're saying, because for the Bulls specifically, the Bulls are already used too much of their non-taxpayer mid-level exception to take in Trey Jones's contract fully. Wait, really? Um, all right, hold on. Because at least in my head, the math doesn't make any sense still. But hold on. Okay, let me go to Bobby Marks. Okay, no, I don't understand this. Okay, hold on. I need you guys. I don't know what exactly you're looking at, or if Hollinger is like specifically doing a video. But send me the link on Twitter. DMs are open. Maybe I had the quote. Okay, so I understand taking Herder into the DeMar DeRozan trade exception, but I don't understand the Trey Jones thing. This doesn't make any sense because the Bulls used Jalen's. They used $8 million of the non-taxpayer mid-level exception on Jalen Smith. Okay, he was signed with the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. So at most you have like $4 or $5 million left over from this, I think. So this doesn't make any sense to me. I like, look, see, sign with using the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. So I think Hollinger's incorrect. In terms of the Kevin Huerter thing, that does make sense to me. That does make sense. So there will be a trade exception that will be created off this deal. So I was wrong about that. But the Trey Jones thing doesn't make any sense to me. Like you can't just take in $9 million when you've used almost most of your non-taxpayer mid-level exception. That doesn't work. They might have to relook at that. I'm sure we'll get the actual full details here. Yeah, I mean Zach might actually be cursed, bro. I don't think the Kings are gonna be contending anytime soon. Oh, I agree, Nobu Jordan. I completely agree. However, though, I continuously said this, Nobu Jordan, about this Bulls front office. Okay, two things can be true. Jerry Reinsdorf is an absolute dog shit owner and deserves to go to hell. Okay, he is a horrific owner and does not know how to run a team. He hires the idiots. Okay, I completely agree with that. But this front office has been given enough, okay, to go and make a competent team. Okay, whether that is through a rebuild or whether that is through just by their own personal means. Okay, like this front office has been given plenty to go and make a competent team. Okay, there are many teams who make it far into the playoffs. Okay, that are not in the luxury tax. Okay, the only thing that Jerry Reinsdorf has like full control over of is the money being spent. All right, and he just says no luxury tax. Okay, but there are so many teams that are not in the luxury tax and they go far. Okay, like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers are in the luxury tax right now. Okay, the Dallas Mavericks, though, last season they were not in the luxury tax. Okay, like this is the stuff I'm talking about when it comes to this sort of thing. Like, yeah, bro, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not in the luxury tax currently. They're fine. Okay, oh no, sorry, they are. Never mind, they are actually in the luxury tax. They're in it by a little bit. But again, though, like we're talking about like a little bit of money. Okay, they're in it by $1 million. All right, so sure, if that is the biggest difference in the world, it's fine. But let's go to last year. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, last year there are so many teams last year that made it pretty far, not in the luxury tax at all. Okay, I don't remember the exact number here. Okay, maximum. Okay, so let's just, is it 30 million above? I think that's what it is. Let me just double check this. First apron. Okay. Okay, that's first apron though. I don't need first apron. Okay. Hold on. I need to find the actual numbers. Hold on, give me 1 second. $165. I mean, yeah. Okay. So last season, the Dallas Mavericks so they were. Wait, hold on. 23. Okay, so Dallas Mavericks were in the luxury tax, but I guess by whatever you want to say it by, like $500,000, I guess. But I mean, again, Thunder last year not in the luxury tax. Okay, so every single team from basically, so no, the Bulls were not in the luxury tax. Okay, hold on. No, this is incorrect. Hold on, give me 1 second. 2023. Now, see, this is total cap allocations. Okay, we need to go to active. There we go. Okay, so in terms of the active cap, okay, every single team from the Los Angeles Lakers, from the New Orleans Pelicans on down, okay, every single team here was under the luxury tax, okay? The Bulls, as you can see, they're spending up to basically the luxury tax line. They're fine. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, we can't spend past the salary cap or whatever. They're given enough money to spend to go ahead and just spend past the luxury, or spend past the salary cap, okay? They're not ever gonna hit the luxury tax, but as you can see, Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals last year, not in the luxury tax, okay? Like, it's these sort of things that make me upset. Philly, not in the luxury tax. New York Knicks last year, not in the luxury tax, okay? Thunder, obviously, also were not in the luxury tax, right? Like, there are many teams that are not in the were not in the luxury tax last season, and they're fine, right? They were a damn good team. So two things can be true. Basically, my point is this. The ownership, Jerry Reinsdorf, is flat out awful. He is disgustingly bad as an owner. He will never see the light of day in terms of when he officially passes away. Like, I absolutely despise Jerry Reinsdorf, and he is just an absolute black cloud hanging over the both franchises he owns, okay? But at the same time, your front office that you hired, personally, could do a damn better job. Both things can be true, okay? Reinsdorf is an absolute damn idiot and is a horrific owner, but at the same time, your front office can be a hell of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. They are given enough resources to go and make a better team, okay? So, take that whatever you want with that. I'm not here to say, oh my God, I'm protecting Jerry Reinsdorf. I'm not. I hate Jerry Reinsdorf of anybody, okay? But when it comes to this sort of stuff here, the front office has been absolutely disgustingly bad. That is something that I will not let go. You cannot just be like, oh, AK is bad because Jerry Reinsdorf is owner. No. Arturas Karnisovas has been an absolute flat-out horrible vice president of basketball operations. Mark Eversley has been a terrible general manager. That is just straight up facts, okay? No matter what, I don't care about Reinsdorf being the owner. Either way, this front office has been absolute dog shit. No matter what. I don't know how much autonomy Nico has, honestly, but something needs to be investigated. How Bulls give up a pick? I don't know, bro. I'm losing my mind. Where to go from here? Tank mode? I want to go into a full-out rebuild, right? But what the return is, and the Bulls actually sending out a second-round pick in this deal, I think the Chicago Bulls are still trying to be competitive. I'm being dead serious. Like, this to me sounds like hey, we got rid of Zach. We needed Zach off the roster because of his contract, and we got our pick back. Congratulations. Awesome. So once we trade Vucevic, okay, then Zach Collins is his replacement, and Kevin Huerter slides to the starting lineup now with LaVine gone, right? And we got Trey Jones. Hopefully we can re-sign the offseason. Every single player that I have just mentioned, they're 25 or older. So it's not like you got any young talent in this deal. They're around Vuce. If they build around Vucevic, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, yeah. I mean, bro, again, Sko, I agree. Jerry Reinsdorf is a horrific owner. He is one of the worst owners ever. Okay? He is absolutely the black cloud that hangs over this franchise. But at the same time, this front office has not done enough. Okay? They can do better. All right? They can 1,000,000% do better as a front office. This isn't hard. Okay? They can 1,000,000% do better as a front office. This is not hard for them, okay? They need to do better as a front office. What they have done so far is unacceptable. So yes, Reinsdorf damn sucks, but as a front office, they have been given enough to go make a damn good team. They clearly haven't done it. If you're wondering about this year, so hold on, let me just really quickly look at this. So luxury tax this year is set at yeah, I always mix up the numbers. I'm so sorry about this. I think it's 170 million this year. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's 170 million, okay? So if you look at all the teams this year, okay? So this is the active current salary cap tracker for this year, okay? All the teams that are at $170 million or lower, they're below the luxury tax, okay? So, again, like, even Brooklyn, like, right here, they're below the luxury tax, okay? But, I mean, Memphis, below the luxury tax. The Clippers, below the luxury tax, okay? Thunder, below the luxury tax. Spurs, right? I mean, I understand that these guys have had some young talent and everything, but, I mean, the Pacers aren't necessarily, like, the young talent team, but they're still below the luxury tax, okay? And currently they're sitting fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're fine, right? Obviously, I want an owner that's willing to spend into the luxury tax, but you have enough resources without spending into the luxury tax to build a good team. You just do, okay? And the Bulls so far have been able to spend up to the luxury tax line, hence what you're seeing right here. They're at $165 million, okay? I mean, there are many teams right now below them that are damn better than them, and they're not anywhere close to luxury tax, okay? You have plenty of space right here that you can build a better team, okay? And this front office has straight up not done that. They have failed with the resources that they've been given. Okay, and not to mention, it's not like they came into a hard situation. They came in, the Bulls owned their entire draft, right? And they had a lot of cap space moving forward. They tried to cash in on Vooch, didn't work out too well. They then cashed in on DeRozan and Lonzo with the cap space. I understand Lonzo got injured, but, not exactly the best use of salary cap space overall. You decided not to fully use your draft capital to help surround those players fully, right? You build a team that averages less than 33s attempted per game. You failed. You just straight up failed. And now, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I swear to God, you're still trying to be competitive right now. And I'm losing my mind with the trade that you just did today. You traded a second-round pick today in today's deal. Zach LaVine, who's having one hell of a season, he still has a year and a player option left on his contract. Somehow, some way, you traded a second-round pick away in this deal, and you got Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, and Trey Jones, and you got your pick back. Do you think they should go after Zion? I mean, I wouldn't mind it personally, but at this point, you definitely don't do it now. I mean, I was saying that if you're going to go after Zion, you keep LaVine. Because if people want to say, oh, we can rebuild with Zion Williamson. I'm telling you right now, Zion Williamson is not somebody that you rebuild with. He's 24, okay? His best days are now, all right? Like, he's not just going to be like, oh, we can wait around 5 years and he's 29 or whatever. No. If you're trading for Zion Williamson, you're trying to win now. So I was saying you trade for Zion and you try to keep Zach. But Zach's gone, right? So there's no reason to trade for Zion now. Casey Johnson is saying Torrey Craig and Chris Duarte are being shopped and / or could be waived. Well, okay. Torrey Craig needs to definitely be traded. Okay. If they waive Torrey Craig, that's also malpractice by them. That's them absolutely failing. I'm sorry. But if they waive Torrey Craig, that is an absolute failure of the front office. Like, you cannot waive Torrey Craig. You need to trade him. Someone's going to take him. I promise you. Like, hell, trade him for cash. I don't even care. But you should be able to trade Torrey Craig. I promise you should be able to do that. When it comes to Chris Duarte, it would be a big nuisance to waive his $5 million or $6 million, or sorry, $6-ish million of his contract. That would be pretty disappointing. But it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, honestly. But you need to trade Torrey Craig. I promise you a team's going to take it for the minimum. Because if you waive just Torrey Craig, a team's just going to sign him immediately to the minimum. Miles Shabella should be in the starting lineup, not Kevin Huerter. I mean, if you're actively rebuilding correctly, then yes. But this is the Chicago Bulls. We're not rebuilding. I'm telling you right now, I don't think this is a rebuild. I'm being dead serious. This is not a rebuild. This is, hey, we got Kevin Huerter, who's 26, and he's our starting shooting guard of the future. We got Zach Collins, who's our replacement for Vooch when he is traded. Like, we got Trey Jones. I don't know, bro. I'm hoping I'm wrong here. I genuinely hope this is a rebuild. I am flat out hoping that this is a flat out rebuild when it comes to the Bulls, okay? But in this trade, though, you only got your pick back. You did not get any other picks in this deal. That's the part that's concerning. What's going on, Bull Stuffing? I think you're new here, right? First time I ever took off my Bull set. I'm done, bro. I don't blame you. Oh, yeah, I agree, Box. Because, just so you guys understand, Trey Jones is only 4 years younger than Zach LaVine. If you aren't aware, Trey Jones is 4 years younger than Zach. Like, Zach's played 10 years in the league. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound very good to me. Yeah, look, I like Trey Jones. I think Trey Jones is a pretty solid, like, he's pretty all right. But, like, Trey Jones is the youngest player you got in this deal. He's 4 years younger than Zach. Do you think Kobe will get shopped? I don't know at this point, bro. I would hope so. I think Kobe White needs to get traded. But I hope he does get traded. And you get, future assets in return and not, you're not trading for a vet. But, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Because I'm worried that we're going to trade. If we do trade Kobe, I'm worried it's going to be for just, like, nothing. I think once Vooch or Alonso are traded and Craig gets a rebuild, well, again, that's not guaranteed, right? Lonzo might still be here. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, Lonzo might just stay here. Like, he might not actually be traded. He might leave in free agency, but he might not get traded. And I don't know if people are going to be willing to take him. If Vooch is traded for actual future assets, then yeah, you could convince me more that it's a rebuild. Trey Jones is older than Kobe? Yep. Trey Jones is older than Kobe White, guys. Wait, why are we playing a baseball series against the Pistons? I don't know, honestly, bro. That's next week, right? We're playing a baseball series against the Pistons? Yeah, I don't understand it. NBA scheduling at its finest. If Trey, Collins, Herder are any here past next year, well, I mean, I would hope that at least Trey Jones is still here, but isn't that already a problem that you're asking that question, right? Like, if you're trading Zach LaVine, you would at least have at least one player that you're guaranteed to keep around that you got back in the deal, right? But, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, I mean, I think both Kevin Herter and Zach Collins are here to stay. Especially Zach Collins is for sure here to stay. No one's taking his money. Like, that's, again, if you want, everyone's like, oh, we gotta get Zach LaVine off the roster. Well, we just locked ourselves in with Zach Collins now. Like, it doesn't help you. Why would you only bring back second-round picks as speculated? Isn't he worth first-rounders? Rudy Garcia, I promise you, Nikola Vucevic will not be traded for a first-round pick. He is going to only get second-rounders back. Nikola Vucevic is 34 years old. He is an Asian center that doesn't play defense, and you could argue that he, more recently, until today's game, he has not played very well, like in terms of the three-point line. In January specifically, I should be more specific. Sorry. He's played really well this year, right? But last year was an absolute treacherous year. It was one of the worst years of his career, okay? The year before that was a little bit better, but then the year before that was awful, okay? So this is right here, what we're looking at right now is with Vooch, no one's going to be willing to give you anything special for a guy that is making $20+ million a season and is soon to be 35, okay? Doesn't play defense, needs the ball in his hand to be effective, okay? Like, there are very few teams that would want him, okay? So there's already that's not gonna help you get a better, it's not gonna help drive up his trade value. But secondly, again, factor in his age, factor in the contract, is that he only has a year and a half remaining on his contract. You're not gonna get anything special in return for him. You're gonna get salary fillers and a second-round pick or 2 second-round picks, okay? You're not getting a first-round pick. I promise you. Zach LaVine was more valuable than Nikola Vucevic. I can tell you that right now, okay? Like, and if, for example, if you're wondering if the Bulls would get their pick back in the Nikola Vucevic deal, they don't. They don't get their pick back, okay? Zach LaVine got you your pick back. I promise you, no matter what, Zach LaVine was more valuable than Nikola Vucevic, okay? And Zach got you your pick back, I guess. So if you want to say that's the way of the Bulls getting a first-round pick, sure, I disagree. But, all right, whatever. But that being said, you only got 1 pick back, and you traded a second-round pick away. You are not going to get a first-round pick for Nikola Vucevic. I promise you that, okay? You're not going to get anything for Vucevic in the first round. You're going to get probably just 1 second-round pick at most and a salary filler. You then can either trade the salary filler for second-rounders or something like that, but that's it, honestly. Yeah, I'm new. Drop the sub and a like. I appreciate it, both stuff, man. Can't believe we traded LaVine before Vooch or Patrick Williams. We have to be ready to dump and tank for the next 3 years. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of a tank, but I have been consistently saying a rebuild, okay? I've been saying it again. My definition of a rebuild, guys, is trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible in a short amount of time, okay? I don't care what the picks are necessarily. You can have just a bunch of second-round picks, and that's fine to me, okay? But you need to find a way to accumulate young talent. This trade right here for the Chicago Bulls did not do that, okay? I guess you could argue it guarantees them at least 1 first-round pick moving forward from here on out, right? Which is just their own, okay? Which, again, I feel like you would have kept anyway just because you're trading Zach. But you didn't get any bit of young talent in the players that you got in return today. And again, I feel like you already were gonna keep your pick. So I don't know. I'm genuinely just I'm not happy with it because again, my definition of rebuild is trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible in a short amount of time. Okay, that does not mean tank. That just means that you need to try to accumulate as much young talent as possible. Go look what Oklahoma City just did. Okay, like they absolutely just flew through a rebuild. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander helped with that, but they're just drafting players left and right. They're just trying to see who sticks on a wall, right? They're like, okay, we'll draft this guy, we draft this guy, we'll see who sticks, right? That's what you got to do in a rebuild, right? And I genuinely don't understand what the Bulls just did today in terms of helping a rebuilding situation. I don't think it helped them at all. So it better be that they trade Vooch and they actively get future assets in return for him, which again is like a second round pick and a salary filler. That's fine. I'll gladly be okay with that. Same thing with if they're able to trade Lonzo, which I have doubts about, and then Torrey Craig needs to go for whatever. If you want to trade Kobe, that's fine too. I think trading Kobe is fine as well. I understand it's like, well, he's 24, he's young. Like at this point with Kobe, like I don't really necessarily think he's gonna be part of like the next Bulls iteration or whatever that looks like. So I'm fine with him moving on. But yeah, anybody's available honestly besides Buzelis, right? Like you're not trading Montes Buzelis, he's 20, right? So that's young talent right there. But there's no one on this team that's 21 years old. Dalen Terry, or sorry, I guess Julian Phillips is 21. Dalen Terry's 22, so I guess you want to keep these guys around. But again, I'm not like thrilled with them. But I've been pretty adamant about that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade Kobe, go ahead. Like that's fine. Josh Giddey's 22. I still have doubts about him, and he's gonna be a restricted free agent. So with the way the Bulls operate, I wouldn't be shocked if they decide to move on from him, so they don't have to pay him. But I'd also be shocked if they did that. Just because they just did trade for him. So, yeah, we'll see. When we get fleeced on every turn, how many of you guys expect the GMs of other NBA teams are about to give us first-round pick for Vucevic? I mean, there's also that, but let's just also be serious with ourselves. Like, if we were a great general manager, we still don't get a first for Vucevic. I promise you. Appreciate the explanation. Yeah, no problem, Rudy. And by the way, I just want to make this clear. Like when I try to explain things to you guys, I don't think you're dumb. Okay. I love explaining things to you guys. Like I'm not trying to talk down to you or anything. I don't think you're dumb. Okay. I understand that some of this needs explanation. But if I am ever confusing, please let me know. Like let me know if I don't make any sense with any explanation. The keyword there you use this short amount of time. They may not be playing a short game. Why would they not be playing the short game? They should definitely be playing the short game for a rebuild, right? Your job is a rebuild again. You're trying to accumulate as much talent as possible, young talent as possible, okay? Like, I don't care how it happens, but you need to go and try to do that as quickly as possible, which I understand that could take years. I understand that could take multiple seasons. I get that. But at the same time, again, you should not be expecting, you shouldn't be trying to accumulate young talent for the next 8 years. That should not be a thing. The Pistons finally got out of their rebuild like this season, right? And it took them a long damn time to get there. Think Kobe last season was peak Kobe, sadly? I agree. I think Kobe is not going to have a better season than last year. Curious to see if Patton can help these guys with three-point shooting. Crazy how Huerter's three-point percentage fell off this season. I know, Kevin Huerter's three-point percentage has seriously just fallen off this year. Again, I'm aware that he was injured, so I'm not like, I don't want to be too critical of him, and maybe just him going back to the starting lineup will help him. But I mean, if he's not hitting threes, then I don't know what the hell he's going to bring to the table. I understand people underrate him defensively, but oh boy, Zach Collins this year is nothing special. Bro, there's another Zach Collins in Chicago. If you're not aware, the Chicago White Sox had a catcher named Zach Collins. Turned out to be nothing. First round pick, by the way. Yeah, Zach Collins is just, I mean, he had a couple okay years here, but like, again, nothing incredible, at least in my opinion. And again, I promise you guys right now, you're stuck with Zach Collins from here on out. Like, his contract is only for 2 more for this year and next year, fair. But if you actively try to, like, if you want this money off your books, it's not going to happen. I promise you that. 2026, 2027. That's fine, Rob. That's fine. And again, I understand that you might only be able to get picks in 2026 and 2027. That's fine. Zach Collins was good 5 years ago in the Trailblazers. Even then, I don't even know if he was really that good, but sure, yeah. He shows some promise. Dalen Terry is terrible, maybe a 10th man. I agree. I don't think Terry's going to turn anything special. Booch for Gary Payne plus someone else. Rozzy, so, okay, here, I'll show you what I think is the possibility. I think there's a less of a possibility now for the Warriors trade to happen, just because I think they wanted Zach. But here's what I'm looking at. So you have to take it back Kevon Looney. I don't care what people say. It would then, like, I mean, GP2 is also fine. And then you have to include someone else here. So like, you're not gonna get Moody, you're not getting Pajimski. I promise you're not gonna get any of those guys. So one of either Kyle Anderson or Buddy Hield is okay. Here's the other thing too, I guess I didn't mention. Dennis Schroeder is actually available to be traded on February 5th. Okay. I did not know that. So Dennis Schroeder, he is available to be traded now. But he can be aggregated into other trades on February 5th. So you are able to maybe put in a Dennis Schroeder trade in February 5th. And like combine it with like Kevon Looney's contract, which you can't do that currently. But if you don't include any of that, then you're probably getting like Buddy Hield or Kyle Anderson. I'll just throw in Kyle Anderson just because it is what it is. And then I don't remember how exactly it worked out from there. Because I know then I sent Torrey Craig over as well. Hello, update. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So this is like the deal, basically. Again, not 1-to-1. This is just basically just kind of the deal. Then out of draft picks, you would get Miami's draft pick this year. So you're gonna pray to God that they somehow like don't fall and be one of the 8 worst teams in the league. And then maybe you can get a 2031 pick from the Warriors, like maybe. But I'm mostly just looking for this Miami pick. That's like the biggest thing for me. There's your trade. Honestly, I'm gonna be dead serious. You probably don't even get this pick. You'll probably maybe get Minnesota's pick instead. But then if you're the Bulls, right, like your job then is to try to get GP2, Kyle Anderson in trade, like try to trade him off. I'm fine keeping Kevon Looney for a year. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. He's going to be an expiring contract though, so you'd have to pay him. But I'm fine keeping him next season and then trying to look to trade him later on like a more cheaper deal or something. Isn't Herter supposed to be a semi-decent passer / playmaker too? I've heard that. At least from what I watched from Kevin Herter, I don't think he's really that good, but that's just my opinion. I know Herter sort of played like backup point guard for the Hawks in a sense. Like he, at moments, was like the backup point guard. Let's just say that I wasn't too fond of that idea for the Hawks, but you know, that's just my opinion. Crazy AKME hasn't met with the media tonight. He's hiding. We'll probably see him tomorrow. I'm not gonna criticize AK for that. The idea is Zach Collins is better than Zach Collins. That's funny. Giddy, Matas, Terry, and Phillips. Oh, maybe IO trash everything else. Smith undersized. Collins is trash. I mean, so let me just tell you like who I'm looking at in terms of like, okay, I like these certain players and I don't really like certain other guys. Okay. So I've been pretty adamant that like, look, Patrick Williams, if you're able to find a trade for him, go ahead and do it. I don't care about Pat. Kobe White, same thing. Okay, like I don't really care too much about him right now. I understand a lot of people love Kobe and like they're like, why would you trade Kobe now? Like you're about to hit a rebuild. But Kobe to me, I think he's peaked. And because his contract situation is looming here, he's gonna ask for a lot of money because he's a starter right now. So he's going to go into unrestricted free agency. So one, you lose a chance of just losing him for nothing. But two, if you do try to bring him back, you're basically paying him a lot of money to bring him back because he's your starting guard, at least. Whatever point guard or shooting, I don't care. So he's going to ask for a lot. Like, Emmanuel Quickly got 5 years, $175 million, okay? So, or is that right? I have to double check that. But what do you get? Sorry, 162. Sorry, excuse me. So Emmanuel quickly got 5 years, $162.5 million. That was, this was signed just recently, right? If I'm Kobe White and I'm looking like, well, Emmanuel quickly got 5 years, $162 million, bro. Like, that seems damn good. Like, I mean, if he can get that, and just if you want to just really quickly see, here are the numbers, okay? You can argue that Kobe's been better if you want to be serious. But like, I'm being dead serious right now. You can argue Kobe's been better as a starter, which is up to you. But if he's like, well, quickly got 162, then I deserve 175 million, right? And as much as I appreciate Kobe for being better in more recent years and actually developing himself into being a starter caliber player, I don't think he's going to turn into LaVine level efficiency and scoring. I think a lot of people have compared LaVine and Kobe together, especially at the start of this season, and people were telling me that I was insane for saying that Kobe White is a worse player than Zach LaVine. And I think I've been pretty much shown that I'm right, that Zach LaVine is a much better player than Kobe White, okay? But people were telling me that Kobe's a better shooter than Zach, saying that he's a better scorer than Zach, and I'm like, no, he's not. He is, until we see otherwise when LaVine is fully healthy, Kobe White will never be a better scorer than Zach LaVine in his entire career. He won't ever do that, okay? So, if you have a point guard that is only averaging about 19 points per game, or shooting guard, whatever you want to call him, and doesn't play, like, he tries on defense. It's just that he doesn't have the physical tools to be a good defender because he doesn't have a good wingspan. It's time to move on from Kobe. I think it's honestly time, because his contract, again, is similar to what's happening with Vooch currently. As the days tick by, his value in the trade value continues to go down, okay? If you're going to get any value for Kobe, it's now. You need to trade him now, okay? And if you can't trade him today or in the next couple of days here, you can then trade him in the offseason. Giddey, I know a lot of people are going to say keep him. I'm not that impressed with Giddey. I wasn't happy with the trade. Wasn't really impressed with him in Oklahoma City. Obviously the Bulls have to make a decision with him this summer. So, but again, I'm like okay with him without him moving forward. So, move on from Javon Carter, probably not possible. Move on from Dalen Terry as well. I'm fine with that. Torrey Craig needs to move on. I personally would keep Phillips because I think he has some potential to be like a nice piece off the bench moving forward. But hey, everyone has a price, right? If someone wants Julian Phillips for something, hey, go ahead and give it to them. Okay, but when it comes to the guys I would keep, okay, I'm keeping Montes Buzelis. Obviously, he's the youngest player on the roster, right? And he clearly, I think, has the most potential out of anybody. I mean, this is again just my opinion, but when it comes to Buzelis and his overall potential for this Bulls team moving forward, he to me has the most potential out of all the young players currently on the roster. Okay, so you obviously keep that guy. I personally would keep Ayo because I think that Ayo has the potential to be a starting shooting guard in this league. He won't be your starting point guard, but I think Ayo can be your starting shooting guard. I'm not saying he's going to become Derek White, but like he can play a similar role to Derek White. Be a good perimeter defender, and hopefully that three-point shot continues to come around with Ayo. I know it's been inconsistent this year, but his efficiency and good defense is something that I'm willing to keep around. And it's not, I'm already willing to bet on that he won't cost as much as Kobe is going to cost, okay? Ayo's averaging a career high in points per game this season, okay? So, Kobe obviously averaged 19 points per game last year. When it comes to Dosunmu, if you only average around 12 points per game, you're not going to get that big of a contract, right? So he's averaging about the same amount of points per game as last year. He's been really solid in the starting lineup, so I would personally look to keep Ayo. But again, everyone has a price. If someone's willing to give me a first-round pick for Ayo Dosunmu, see ya. You're gone. But after that, the only guy that I've been like kind of saying that we should probably keep is Jalen Smith, just because I think Jalen Smith is actually, I think he's going to turn into something like pretty solid off the bench. But again, everyone has a price here. If some team really wants Jalen Smith, is willing to offer me 3 second-round picks, goodbye, you're gone. But I don't think Jalen Smith is necessarily someone as like your starting center of the future. It will be interesting to see if Vooch is traded, who would then be the starting center. It would probably be Jalen Smith and just kind of see how he plays. But Smith is someone that I do like, and I like the use of money on him. He's overall on a very nice contract. I personally like to keep him. But again, everyone has a price. I'm not like I'm not like saying hold on to him for dear life or anything like how I am with Buzelis. Like Buzelis has to stay. But when it comes to Jalen Smith, like yeah, anyone can give us the proper price and goodbye. You're gone. So that's just kind of my thing. So just to go over, Buzelis is definitely like he's the closest to untouchable for the Bulls. Again, no one's untouchable. Everyone has a price here, but in terms of like you're not getting traded, that's Montes Buzelis. Okay, below him, at least in my opinion, is Io, and then you could also throw Julian Phillips in that category in terms of who I look as good potential, and then Jalen Smith is maybe under that as a guy that he's 24 and I think he's a nice piece off the bench moving forward. On a very cheap contract. But after that, I mean, I think everyone's up for grabs. Like, P. Will, I know he's played better recently. I don't care. Like, if he can get you some second-round picks, goodbye. You're gone. THT, goodbye. If you want to keep Dalen Terry, that's fine. I'm not that high in Dalen Terry moving forward, though. But yeah, everyone else, again, like, I know everyone's going to be, oh, Josh Giddey, but I'm like, I don't know, bro. I'm just not that high on Josh Giddey. I know a lot of people that haven't watched my streams like consistently throughout the season are in the chat right now. But I've been pretty adamant about Josh Giddey is that I don't think he's the point guard of the future. You need to actively be a good scorer in today's league to be the point guard of the future, and Giddey is not that. His numbers are interesting, but box score antes versus actual impact. And Giddey, at least in my opinion, he has to either become a better defensive small forward and be kind of like a Swiss Army knife on offense, but he has to be able to shoot the three ball consistently to do that, or he's kind of destined for a bench role, honestly. I mean, dead serious. He ends up press this time for these trades? I doubt it. Maybe Kings ask for Lonzo so they can be the 2020 Bulls West, bro. If the Kings ask for Lonzo Ball, oh my god, that will be insane to look at. I like talking on Twitter about trades is so pointless. People just ending everything with Luka just got traded. Anything is possible. I mean, I won't lie, Viper Strike. I also just used that line today, right? But yeah, I can understand your point. Unless AKME starts drafting well, which is doubtful, this team isn't going anywhere, which is the reason why I'm saying that I want picks, okay? Like, I don't trust AK's drafting. I don't, okay? But if you don't have a good front office that can draft effectively, well, then you at least need to just try to accumulate as many picks as possible so that something lands, right? Like, that's the whole point of the rebuild, is that at least you're throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And the front office could be horrible at drafting, right? But if that is the case, you'll probably land on some gem at some point. Like maybe Buzelis is a gem, right? The front office obviously has had a not exactly great overall draft history, but if Buzelis is a gem, then they just happen to fall into that gem, right? That's the reason why you need to get draft picks right now. Like getting players in return is not it for me unless they're young prospects, right? But yeah, I don't really know if that's probably not on the table for Zach specifically, but you needed to get at least some seconds in this deal. I think King signing DeRozan was a massive mistake. He was just an awful fit. I think he hurt his teammates' production. I also agree that I think it was not exactly the best move because the Sacramento Kings heading into this past offseason needed size, three-point shooting, and defense. So you go and get DeMar DeRozan, who brings no size, no three-point shooting, and no defense. Like, doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the Sacramento Kings for you. Do we get rid of Kobe and Io or one of them? I think you get rid of one of them. I think Io will be more sought after just because of his defense, but that's just my opinion. AKME will trade Kobe White for a second rounder. That's not, again, that's okay. Like, I'm not tripping over that. Like, you probably want at least 2 second rounders for Kobe White due to his age and, him being young and on a very cheap contract. At bare minimum, and also like probably like a not just a salary fill in return or whatever. But yeah, that's like you're not gonna get a first for Kobe White either. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Will they even get anything back for Giddey? Probably not. Again, he's restricted free agent after the summer or after this offseason. After this season. So yeah, his value is at an all-time low. Like Josh Giddey's value was an all-time low when we traded for him. His value is even lower currently. Like. Giddey is just a huge question mark. How the hell do you build anything around him? Yeah, you don't. You don't build around him. No one on one offensive game, but being poor off ball is an unfortunate combo. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, I've said it. Giddey needs to get a 3-point shot. Like, that is the only thing when it comes to Giddey that can save him from like actively going on and being like a bench player for the rest of his career, at least in my opinion, is that he needs to get a 3-point shot. Because Giddey, he doesn't have a large wingspan. He is not going to get more athletic just randomly. He's not going to jump higher, okay? And he's not going to just like grow like a bunch of muscles and be like, I'm buff and I can barge through everybody, okay? I understand he's 6'8", but his wingspan is shorter than his height, okay? So I don't have faith in Josh Giddey and getting better anytime soon. So the one thing though that Josh Giddey could do, because if you're wondering, all those things I just mentioned help you become a better finisher at the basket, okay? But he's not going to get a larger wingspan. He's not going to grow another inch. He's not going to suddenly have a 10-inch higher vertical or something like that, okay? He is just who he is at the rim. He is a bad finisher at the basket. The one thing, though, that he can do, okay, the one thing that he can change is he needs to get the 3-point shot. That's the one thing he can do to try to, like, salvage his career in terms of being an on-ball player, right? That's the one thing. Because that's the one thing, at least in my opinion, that he actually has control over. He has a shorter wingspan, so that should sort of help him there, but I'm not feeling good about it. His shot is too slow. He can't shoot off the dribble. Like, it's not looking great for him in terms of that. So we'll see. Hopefully Peter Pan has some sort of way to magically fix Josh Giddey's shot, which I don't have faith in that at all. Keep eye on Trey Kobe. I'm with you, Rob. So I understand it's like, oh, we want a rim running center for Josh Giddey at center, or for Josh Giddey to use the pick and roll with. Here's the thing, though. Most teams, especially more recently, if you haven't been noticing, teams just go under the pick and roll against Josh Giddey. They're just basically saying, yeah, I dare you to shoot the basketball and beat us from 3-point line. Like, that's what I would do. So to me, the only way that gets any sort of effectiveness of having a rim running center to run a pick and roll with Josh Giddey with, the only way it gets some sort of effectiveness out of it is if Josh Giddey has a 3-point shot. Like, that's the reason why I think it's necessary for him to get the 3-point shot. If he, like, again, he's not going to become a better finisher. Like, his finishing right now, where it is currently, it is what it is. It's not going to get better. Again, he's not going to get more athletic. He's not going to grow a bigger wingspan. He's not going to jump higher, okay? And I don't think he's going to grow another 2 inches. So his finishing at the basket right now, what it is currently today, it is what it is. If he gets a 3-point shot, though, and especially if he can shoot off the dribble, then he's a threat from the 3-point line. Then you're able to manipulate some defenses because you're a 3-point threat, right? That's what I'm saying when it comes to Josh Giddey. He has to do that when it comes to his ability to be an on-ball player. If you're not that, then you're relegated to being off-ball, which he's already had happen to him this year, and you're a bench player probably. Because again, you don't play much defense anyway. Basically, the only untouchable is Montes. And again, Montes isn't untouchable, right? But the closest thing to untouchable is Montes, right? But no one on this Bulls team is fully safe. The Bulls have a bunch of first-round picks, but they won't have any second-round picks, and they will have to put together a full roster. So I wonder the moves that will be made down the road. Well, it won't be a bunch of first-round picks. You will just have your own first-round pick, right? And if at some point the Portland Trailblazers somehow give you that pick, then great. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how they do it. Probably not going to be spending a lot of money. There should be a decent rotational player at least. I don't know, bro. He's been better recently, so I'm willing to give him another year, but I'm losing patience with him. Is Giddey's 3-point shot officially like higher than it was last season? Because we just talked about this the other day. Giddey's 3-point shot, like 3 days ago or 4 days ago, was lower than last season. So at least for me, I'm not saying anything special, but okay. No, I mean, coming into tonight, his 3-point shot was worse than last year. He was basically shooting what he shot his sophomore season. So, to me, it's not much of a jump. He shot 33% last season. If you want to say that after tonight's game or today's game, like, oh wow, he's better from 3-point range or whatever, sure, fine. It's not significant enough jump. He needs to be better than that. And for someone like him, again, that is going to have to solely rely on three-point shooting because you're not going to be able to shoot consistently at the rim with his current skill set. He needs to make sure that three-point shot is at least like 37% or higher. Like he can't just shoot league average of 36% or 35%. Like it can't be that. He needs to shoot higher than that, unfortunately. It's just a reality of his current skill set, unfortunately. I mean, okay, so even after today's game, which he hit a couple threes today, he is shooting 32.9%. So that is not better than last season. So I just want to point that out. He is not better than last season. So Jordan, his three-point shot is not better than last season. Bulls will just keep on failing? Yeah, probably. Bulls trade for Gafford. If the Bulls trade for Gafford, how would you feel? Not amazing because it's like we're looking to rebuild, right? Gafford's a guy that you want to use in a winning environment. Hence the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. So yeah, the Bulls trading Gafford away. I was wrong about that deal, by the way. I actually thought that was I thought at the time that was a good deal because I thought Gafford wasn't going to really turn into much, but I was clearly wrong about that. I was so wrong about that. But trading for Gafford doesn't make much sense for the Bulls now if you're going to be rebuilding. If you're going to be rebuilding, there's no reason to have Daniel Gafford on the team. We gotta wait and see the end of the year with the percent. Sure, but I'm willing to bet, though, it's going to be 33% or lower. So, sure, right? I mean, if Giddey shoots 33.7% again, like, he didn't get better. Like, he's been around this for almost the entirety of the season besides the start of the season. He's basically been around this area. Like, I don't think it's going to magically just shot up into the 40s. Just for shits and giggles, what would an acceptable trade offer for Montes look like? So I unfortunately think this is one of those weird situations where you are going to keep Matas even if it's like, oh, the Bulls should definitely make that deal. But it's just because Matas is so young that you're probably just not going to do it. But like, I don't know, like 2 first-round picks and so like a young prospect that's like 20 or 21. Maybe even like you might even need to say 3, but I'll say 2 first-round picks and like a young prospect is probably what I'm looking at. Again, though, it's like a lot of people could argue with me like, oh, well, if you get a first-round pick and just a young prospect that's 20 years old right now, you should trade Matas for it. He's just a bench player, but it's like it's just one of those weird situations where it's like he's a rookie, so I don't really know fully what his full potential is just yet. I see little moments here of like, oh, I like what I see, so I'm kind of just like holding out on it, you know. But he is just kind of in that category of like he's just too young to trade right now, unless obviously you're trading for a superstar, which yeah, if you're wondering, I am willing to trade Matas Buzelis for Luka Doncic. I will gladly do that. But yeah, I obviously, you know, it's in this weird moment currently where it's hard to kind of draw up a trade for it. But you know, let's say 2 first-round picks and like a young player. Hoping if we land at pick 8 that we draft Malak, so our starting lineup could be Ayok, Kobe, Matas, Pio, and Kaman. At least it would be a young team that we could see grow. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Giddey's taking the 3 way more than he ever did in OKC. No, that's not true either. He's averaging 3.8 threes per game. That is a 0.8 threes more per game in the last 2 seasons. He averaged more threes per game his rookie season, Jordan. Like, the stats are right here in front of me. That's just straight up false. He's not taking more threes. The 3-point percentage also we need to see at the end of the year because he's improved some. Well, yeah, he's improved some, but he's also gone through some rough stretches, right? Let me just pull up the Bulls anyway, just because. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. I meant to hit this. By the way, if the stream Fs, let me know. I'm worried about my internet currently. I mean, Dalen's up to 35%, and that's actually pretty good for Dalen, I won't lie. Obviously not many attempts. He's shooting less attempts than last season, but you know, from 25 to 23% to 35%, obviously we'll take that. We'll gladly take that. Yeah, I'm hoping that this is gonna stay up here for Dalen. The unfortunate thing about it is that, like, if, let's say he misses like his next 8, like that probably drops down like almost 30%. Just because he doesn't play a lot, right? So I'm interested to see how he continues, but I mean, he's also missed some games, right? So I'm hoping he'll be fine moving forward. Is on a 10-year development plan. Montes 3 is also going up slightly. So more recently, Montes' 3 is going up slightly. Yeah. That's very good to see from Buzelis. That needs to continue. Yeah, he's shooting 35% now. Like that's actually higher than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, Montes was shooting in the 20s earlier. So him shooting 35% from 3-point range is great. Derek Queen is also interesting around 8th pick. You guys know this more than me. So like when it comes to any college, you know, or any prospects, you guys know more than me. So yeah, let me know. So I don't even know if I'm saying. Is it Kaman? Is that how I say it? Kaman Maluk? I'm sorry, I don't know any of these names. So yeah, you guys are going to teach me about this. This point, Julian can't see the floor. I was hoping he would improve more before the season. I also thought Julian was going to be like better this year, but yeah, it's been unfortunate. His 3-point percentage after that preseason games, it just took a massive dip. And it's unfortunate to watch. His corner 3-point shot is still like okay. It's just that above the break threes for him are just dreadful. He's shooting like 14% from there. But it's better than Montes missing minutes, all for sure. I mean, if you're not going to give Julian Phillips consistent minutes, just give it to Buzelis. Smith's late scratch really affected today's rotations. Oh, it definitely messed things up. I mean, Patrick Williams playing the 4 or playing the 5, like that's not his spot. So I'm willing to throw Patrick Williams a bone today for not getting that many rebounds. But yeah, I definitely messed things up today. Dalen improved from 3, being one of the worst shooters. Right shows me Pat may be able to fix others' 3-point shot as well. Just need time. I'm hoping so, bro. I really hope so. We'll have Queen at A. He is my favorite freshman this year. I'll look into him. I'm sorry. I am genuinely. I really don't watch college basketball until March Madness. So I'm so sorry. I really don't know what's happening when it comes to this sort of stuff. I know obviously Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, but I don't really know anything else besides that. And I should probably start looking into that stuff soon because we're officially, with Zach getting traded, which is crazy for me to even say because LaVine's been on this Bulls team for most of my lifetime as a Bulls fan. Yeah, it's just crazy to think about, but I should definitely be looking into what the Bulls are going to be drafting moving forward from here on out. He said, "Come on, right? Okay, got it." Yeah, and I already watched college this year just because we didn't one of the top picks. Yeah, makes sense. AKB loves undersized wings is crazy. Yeah, he does. I don't know if Terry's undersized in terms of height, but in terms of weight, maybe. Connor Queen for sure as a center if around 8 to 10. Bulls need way more size. I don't know if we need way more size, but size would help. Like, I don't think we need way more size. But I definitely think we should be adding more to our forward depth. Yeah, I'm willing to throw people a bone today. I'm not here to be like, oh, we're still hating on Patrick Williams train. I've been hella critical of Patrick Williams this year. I'm not here to say, oh, this is like, Patrick Williams and his poor play in the starting lineup is nothing. Like, no, that is something that is very, very concerning. If he just has to play off the bench moving forward to be a DeAndre Hunter for the squad, fine. I mean, okay. I would personally, though, be looking to trade him as soon as possible then. But you just signed him to a 5-year deal, so it's not looking great in terms of trading him. And it's not a great deal because he's coming off the bench. Woohoo! No, you're fine, Rob. I brought it up. I think we're seeing the players people likes to play next to and feels more comfortable around. Well, again, it's not necessarily about him scoring. Like, for me, his performance off the bench for me is that he's playing better defense. He's actively getting rebounds on both ends of the floor. Like, his motor is just better. Okay, he's also running harder in transition. Okay, and you can tell he's searching when in offensive half court. He's searching better for his spots. So I do think that it's part of like who he likes to play with more. And now that LaVine is gone, like, he should easily be putting up these performances that we saw recently off the, like, easily, not even a question. Like, it should be the standard for him now. But it's not necessarily just about him scoring. It's the fact that he's actively being a better overall player, and forget scoring. Like, he's just being better, right? He's playing better defense. He's rebounding effectively on both ends of the floor. Okay, like, it's those two things that I look at. I'm like, why can't you do this in the starting lineup, bro? I don't care about the fact that, like, you're made some shots on offense. It's nice, but your offense should be second in terms of what you should be impacting the game on, right? So it sucks that if this is the way where he has to come off the bench to be effective, fine. We'll bring him off the bench from here on out. That's perfectly fine. But, like, people are saying, like, no, Patrick Williams just needs Zach LaVine and Vucevic off the squad. I'm like, I'm sorry. You told me that he just needed DeMar DeRozan off the team. That didn't work. So now that LaVine is gone and Vuce might be gone here soon, like, I think you could put Patrick Williams back in that starting lineup and it's still not going to work. He just comes off the bench, and it's just like, yeah, he just has a different gear, I guess, off the bench. He comes in thinking that I need to affect the game immediately, and that's fine. We'll just keep him on the bench then. It sucks, though, because you just paid him $18 million a season. He came off the bench in college, so maybe that's what he's used to. Yeah, I mean, he was the sixth man in college, so yeah, it's definitely possible. The thing is, though, of what we've been talking about with P. Will is that, like, he doesn't take shots when he needs to sometimes. Like, he decides to take shots that, or like, he doesn't, like, he needs to shoot a shot and he doesn't take it. And then it's like, why didn't you take this one? But then for some reason, when, no one else is on the floor in terms of, like, no Zach or Vooch is on the floor, right? Then all of a sudden we're looking at Patrick Williams is, he's taking some shots that I feel like he should easily be taking with no matter who's on the floor together. He's also, again, rebounding is something that, with Patrick Williams, it doesn't matter who's on the floor. Like, Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic should not be taking, like, that shouldn't be stopping him from getting rebounds. Like, I'm sorry. It really shouldn't be. So, I mean, I'd argue that Josh Giddey is a more threat to him for taking rebounds, and yet he's perfectly fine when Josh Giddey's out there on the floor with him. So, I don't know. I don't get it. But that's just me. Go on, Delbert. Does low basketball IQ maybe? Probably. I don't think he was really shown any high basketball IQ moments. He has a slower shot too. He does, and that's annoying. But it's at least quick enough that you can live with it. It's not Josh Giddey level. I will say that. Yeah, I mean, Rob, I've heard this constantly about him being a point guard and everything. I just think it, like, there are many other players that have had this same thing happen to him, where they just happen to grow a little bit. So I just think that it's just been too much time. So again, if he's gonna consistently do this off the bench, then we just keep him on the bench. That's fine. We're good then. It just sucks that he has to do it off the bench, but sure. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second here. I do want to officially, talk about Zach being gone off the team, and then we'll see what we do after that here. All right, sorry. I responded to some messages there. All right, so now that we officially are past the Zach LaVine stage, again, I have already been very concerned about the return because I don't like the return whatsoever. But not to mention then you have a 26 and 27-year-old coming into this team, and they're both making 17 to 18 million dollars next season. You have Trey Jones, who I think he's a fine player. I like Trey Jones overall, but he's an unrestricted free agent. It's straight up just a garbage overall idea. You got your pick back, so I guess that's the most important thing of it, is that you got your pick back. But this is straight up I'm not happy about the situation, just because I think that the Bulls haven't really clearly shown that they're like, oh yeah, we're going to a rebuild, right? I very clearly think that when it comes to the Bulls, like, this isn't showing like, oh, we're full out rebuilding. But I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that when it comes to this whole trade, that they are actually fully rebuilding, and we don't have to worry about it moving forward. But don't have much faith about it. You're stuck with Zach Collins' contract for this year and next year. You're not trading that contract. Herder is probably getting paid too much money for a guy that's most likely to come off the bench. Maybe he starts, honestly, now that LaVine's gone. But, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he comes off the bench with the way he's played this year. But, yeah, not happy. You have to pay both now Trey Jones and Josh Giddey this offseason. So, I'm not looking forward to that. And we'll see where it does take us. When it comes to Zach LaVine specifically, man, I've been extremely adamant about how much that I appreciate the guy. I watched when he was traded to the Bulls on draft night for Jimmy Butler. I have always been a supporter of Zach even throughout this entire weird Bulls time. He was one of the main core pieces when it came to the rebuild, right? When Jimmy Butler was officially traded after the D-Wade, Rondo, Butler era, LaVine was one of the main core pieces, right? It was him, and then getting Lauri Markkanen. And very clearly, LaVine turned himself into a two-time All-Star. Should have probably been All-Star this year. And honestly, I think people don't give enough credit because I don't think people just like, oh, he just wants to slam dunk contests, and he's just a good offensive player, right? With LaVine and his skill set, okay, he is thin. He doesn't have the biggest wingspan in the world, and he's kind of like this in between of like, is he a point guard, is he a shooting guard? I don't really know what he is, right? I always say when it comes to Zach, like, I don't really know, like, or what a lot of people are saying when it comes to Zach is like, we don't really know what he's going to turn into. There could have been easily a big chance for Zach that he could have turned into the next Gerald Green. Okay. I say this like with full intent. Gerald Green was a high flyer, had a lengthy career, but similar body type, right? Like, not the best defender, also kind of thin, but like, he was a guy that was solely just on relied on athleticism. Again, similar body type, 6'6", 205, in his last years in the NBA. But, he's a kind of a tweener, guard, forward. We don't know what he is, right? And he's a high flyer that just is mostly just a dunker, and his best role is just being a role player, right? His three-point shot isn't anything special. He's had some good years, but I think Zach LaVine could have easily turned into this. Zach, though, obviously showed in Minnesota that he was going to be more than Gerald Green, but he turned himself into a two-time All-Star in Chicago and had one of the most efficient seasons as a guard, averaging 27 points per game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds on 50% from the field, 41% from three-point range, and 85% from the free throw line. This year alone, he has officially averaged 24 points per game, 51% from the field, 45% from the three-point range. Free throw percentage, unfortunately, wasn't that great, but 80%. But he officially moved into the Bulls' all-time three-point leaders this year. He was officially past Kirk Hinrich as the all-time three-point leader in Bulls history. If Zach continued to play throughout the season, even with the games that he missed due to his child, which congrats to them. I know it's probably a stressful time for them currently because they just had a baby and they have to move now. But he still would have been on track to break the Bulls' single season record for breaking or most 3-point shots made in a season. And I think that alone should tell you that no matter how much people want to talk about Zach LaVine and like his overall record as a player and like it's not anything special, like he was one of the longest streaks of never playing a playoff game. As much as you want to talk about that, okay, Zach LaVine, the reason why the Bulls are bad and have been mediocre and continue to lack success, it is not because of Zach LaVine, okay? Zach LaVine is not going to be your best player on a winning team. But what LaVine can be is your second best player, in terms of especially second best offensive player on a winning squad, because he has a very unique skill set where he can absolutely be an on-ball dominant player versus being also an off-ball player who can effectively space the floor. His on-ball and off-ball gravity, especially this season when he's healthy, is off the charts. He draws so much attention no matter if he has the ball or is off the ball. That skill set alone, while he isn't the best defender, shows enough that he is not a losing player. He is a very winning player. A losing player is a player that goes and jacks up a bunch of shots every single game trying to get his stats up, right? Zach LaVine was one of the most efficient guards in the NBA the past, like, 6 seasons, okay? 5 seasons, sorry. But, or no, we'll say 6. But, I mean, this season right here for the Bulls, okay? This season right here is an insane season. First-time All-Star. I mean, this is a guy that could easily shoot more than 20 shots a game, and he doesn't. When you have a guy that's shooting 50% from the field and 40% from the three-point range, he doesn't attempt 10 threes a game. But yet, there are many players in this league that average 9 or 10 threes a game, and they don't shoot 40% from there, okay? Zach LaVine this season shooting 45% from three-point range this season. He's only attempting 7.3 threes per game. That is not a losing player. Joe Coley has used his platform and his whole thing to try to make him shown as like, oh, he's the reason why the Bulls suck and the Bulls are blah 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 blah. Zach LaVine it's not his fault that the Bulls offered him the max contract. It's not his fault that the Bulls failed to build an actual successful team around him. It's not his fault that Jerry Reinsdorf is the Bulls owner, and it's not his fault that the Bulls front office is absolutely disgustingly bad. Okay. What LaVine did here in Chicago, I think, should be remembered. You're looking at the guy that, again, is the all-time leading three-point scorer in Bulls history. He's a guy that I think should be respected, and people should understand that the lack of Bulls success is not because of anything he did. He came here and turned himself into a very good player when there was a chance, again, that he wouldn't be anything more than maybe what Kobe White is today. There was a chance that he would come in and never become an all-star, and he turned himself into a 2-time all-star. Arguably should have been a 3-time all-star after this season today, or this season so far. LaVine is always going to be one of my favorite players to ever watch in the Bulls uniform. I sincerely appreciate everything that he did. I think him going to Sacramento is going to be interesting. I don't really like the fit over there in terms of everybody, not just him and others, but just everybody overall. I just have some questions about it. But I hope that he goes and proves to the rest of the world that he is a very, very impactful player while he's still currently in his prime, which, you know, he's 29 this year. We'll see how many years he has left to playing at a very high level. But as a shooter, even though he's already lost some athleticism, you can tell that he's still a very effective player because his quick first step is incredible. So him shooting at a very high percentage is going to keep him around the league for a while. And he's also not like a very small point guard. So he'll be around for a bit here. And it'll be interesting to see Zach LaVine in a different uniform. So yeah, at the time, I know that people are going to be upset about the Bulls max contract, blah, 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 blah. Empty stats player. Yeah, I hate that sort of terminology. If there is an empty stats player, I'm sorry, it is Josh Giddey. And I specifically say that because the Australians are a big amount of people that try to go after Zach and say that he's an empty stats player. But to me, Josh Giddey's more of an empty stats player than Zach is. And again, I don't think Zach is an empty stats player at all. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Zach. Honestly, a lot of times, honestly, when I would watch the Bulls, it's because, especially during like these years, right? Like these bad years, it's because LaVine. You know, Bulls had some young prospects and everything, but LaVine was kind of the reason why I really tuned in a lot of nights. So it's going to be hard, you know, to not see the efficient scoring on that end of the floor anymore, because I promise you, bro, the Bulls, I mean, if you haven't looked at the numbers, I know the Bulls scored 119 points today, but the Bulls' offensive rating without Zach LaVine this season is dreadful. Even with Vooch on the floor, it's just awful. In terms of NBA.com, I think it was pretty rough overall. Sorry, I gotta go on off. So this has risen up to 105, but this was lower before the Pistons and Raptors game. Okay, this number here for the Bulls, this was at 104 heading into the 3-game road trip. So yeah, it to me isn't shocking that the Bulls had a major struggle against Boston. I would also argue that they struggled against Pistons today, but they made some threes. So you know, it is what it is when it comes to that. But the Bulls' offensive rating as a whole has really struggled. So we're going to really see some hard offense moving forward because the Bulls already rely on 3-point shots, and you just traded your best 3-point shooter away, who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. So yeah, I'm going to miss Zach. But even though as a person that has been very much adamant that I love Zach, I appreciate everything he's done, he's an incredible player. I was also saying that if the front office is smart and has any sort of recollection of a brain, then you should be looking to try to trade him and try to rebuild. I thought after, like, when we officially decided that the DeMar DeRozan and LaVine kind of experiment was kind of over, if you were able to trade DeMar DeRozan before the last offseason, and get some like good value for him, you're able to trade Caruso for multiple picks, or, you know, a first-round pick, seconds, and whatever. I thought that you'd be able to actually kind of retool with Zach. But with the way that obviously that didn't go right, like you traded DeRozan for two second rounders, which one you just traded back to the Kings today. You traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey and didn't get any picks out of it. Nikola Vucevic is still stuck on the team. It's not possible, right? You're not able to then retool with the limited asset pool that you have. So it is then the proper time to trade Zach. So the Bulls did trade Zach. They did do the correct thing, but the value, at least in my opinion, is not good at all. The value is concerning. I don't really know if it did fully signal a rebuild. And I'm definitely concerned, bro. I'm definitely concerned moving forward of how this exactly looks for the Bulls after trading Zach. So yeah, sucks to see him go, and sucks that his Bulls tenure had to end like this, where you know, it just happened to end this way, where not a lot of success, one playoff series, but to me, at least in my opinion, it's not his fault at all. This Bulls front office, this Bulls ownership, this Bulls everything is just bad, and he was not part of the bad equation at the end of the day. He turned himself into a damn good player, and I think he should be respected for that. So sucks, but this is where we're at. I'm gonna be very interested to see though what's next, because I'm actually kind of shocked that we haven't had a follow-up deal, unless it just happened just recently. But I'm a little bit shocked that we haven't had a follow-up deal, because as we've all talked about, the Bulls have 17 players on their roster and you can only have 15, right? So one of Chris Duarte, you know, you're keeping Collins and Herter for sure. So Chris Duarte, Torrey Craig is probably on the chopping block here. Someone needs to be traded, at least in my opinion. And then you could probably waive the other. So interested to see what exactly is the next thing for the Bulls, because I just don't know. I'm hoping that they do the proper decisions here, but you know, it's the Bulls front office at the end of the day. I already got a $26 million trade exception, but it's like, who cares? Bulls are cheap and never use them. So ironically, the Bulls just used the trade exception in this deal. Okay, so the Bulls used the trade exception to take back Kevin Huerter's contract in this deal today. Let's see. Oh, I thought Casey Johnson quote. Okay. Nah, okay. I just blah 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 blah. But Okay, see, this guy even edited his tweet, okay? The Bulls cannot create a $26 million trade exception, all right? I was pretty adamant about that when the trade did happen. Like, it's not correct. The Bulls have already used most of their mid-level exception, so they can't absorb Trey Jones' salary into the mid-level exception, okay? So I'm already here to tell you that this is incorrect. So it won't be a $26 million trade exception, but the Bulls just used the DeMar DeRozan trade exception that they got from Sacramento in this deal to take on Herter. So it will create a trade exception, but it's not going to be $26 million. I promise you that. Unless they took in Trey Jones's contract with a different trade exception, then maybe that's what did happen. So then it would be $26 million, but it would not be the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. The Bulls don't have $9 million extra of the non-taxpayer mid-level exception laying around. They use basically $9 million of it on Jalen Smith. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception this year was about 13 or 12 million, I think. I don't remember what it was. I hate this. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, it was about $13 million. So you use basically $9 million of that on Jalen Smith. You can't use the there's no extra $9 million laying around to take on Trey Jones. So there might have been another trade exception for the Bulls here that that they used on Trey Jones to create that trade exception, but I don't really think that it's correct with that number. So I'll be interested to see what exactly that number is at the end of the day. But either way, though, the Bulls have to make some decisions here. You gotta either waive or trade two of Torrey Craig, Chris Duarte, or someone else. Maybe you trade Vooch here and you don't get any players in return or something like that, which would be whack. But it is a possibility. You can maybe trade Kobe and not get any players in return. But maybe it's THT, right? Maybe you just trade THT somewhere else here. But the Bulls play on Tuesday, right? So there's going to have to be some sort of trade here soon, right? Some sort of trade has to go down here soon so that the Bulls have an actively legal roster coming into the game against the Miami Heat on Tuesday. So they have to make some sort of move or trade here very quickly. But they have at least the next 24 hours to do so because they have obviously just made the deal and they don't play until Tuesday. So they have some time. But this is going to be interesting to watch because I don't know what exactly the next move is. Obviously, trading, I think Vooch would be a very good start, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's someone else that just randomly gets moved here moving forward. So we'll keep an eye on this $26 million trade exception. I don't think that's correct, but I could be wrong. I generally could be wrong about that. The Richard Zach being similar to Hyde, didn't give him that extra to be super great, affected his handles and shot to the rim. Yeah, so if you're wondering, like, the reason why a wingspan is important is because look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not as athletic as LaVine. He's not as big as Zach, honestly. The thing that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has is he has a massive wingspan, okay? With the massive wingspan, you have better control over the ball when you dribble it, but then you also have the ability to finish crazy shots around the basket because you can use your length to get around shot blockers. You can kind of like hang in the air a little bit more effectively with your wingspan. So if Zach just had like a actual, like Zach's wingspan is about like 6'6", 6'7", I think, or maybe a little bit shorter. But if Zach had like I think his was 6'8". Sorry, excuse me. But if Zach had like a 6'10", 6'11" wingspan, then I think you're looking at a guy that one would be better defensively. But two is like you might actually be looking at like your actual superstar, because he would have the athleticism, obviously the efficiencies there. But yeah, I mean, he'd be able to control the ball more effectively and be just a better defender overall. He's already a damn good finisher at the basket because of his athleticism. But imagine him having a wingspan to navigate shot blockers and finish through contact. Like that would immediately put Zach in like superstar mode in terms of what he would be. So you know, players are just born with certain gifts, right? And Zach, you know, he was born with freakish athleticism. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that's gonna work out with the Kings now. Biggest knock I've seen on Zach is he's not a winner, but it's not clearly his fault. He's been on bad teams. I mean, LaVine was drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves, you know, with Karl-Anthony Towns being and Andrew Wiggins with #1 overall picks, right? We know what Wiggins turned into. Cat obviously is an all-star, but he didn't turn into a superstar there. So they decided to make the move for Jimmy Butler, which then he is then sent to another rebuild with the Bulls. And the Bulls haven't gotten anything special in terms of a winning season since the Butler and or even that season was not even a winning season. The last winning season for the Bulls, besides the first year DeRozan and Lonzo together, was the season prior to the 3 Alpha season. Because the 3 Alpha season, the Bulls went 500. So yeah, kind of crazy, right? Like when you really start to think about it, it's like this Bulls team has been really bad for a long time. And that's not LaVine's fault. I understand that everyone's like, oh, he should become like the best, you know, like a shooting, like, you know, superstar. But when we're talking about seasons here where it's just like, bro, like what are you looking at? Like the 16-17 season they were 500. So the last time the Bulls had a winning record besides, again, the 2021-22 season, okay? But if you just null this season out, right, then every single year from here, the Bulls are either 500 or worse. So again, if you want to blame Zach LaVine, go ahead, but this is my opinion, bro. It's not LaVine's fault. The team is just garbage. Also, Russ screwed Zach a lot. Watch, he goes to the Kings and Bow gets more free throws. I don't know about that, but it is, you know, different. You know, it's not Chicago. This year's on-ball gravity was crazy. Oh, but I mean, LaVine was getting double teamed at the top of the key. But then even off-ball guys, like if you actually watch Bulls games when LaVine was on the court, like what Zach would do, like to the defense, like guys were just constantly like, if he's off-ball in the corner, guys were just like onto him like glue. Like they were saying, like, we're not going to rotate off of him. We're going to stick to this guy because if at any moment he decides that he's just going to move up to the 3-point, like above the break 3-point shot, like he can get that easily, right? And they were so scared that he was just going to launch a 3 in their face. And because he shoots so damn well from that range, like it's a seriously big threat. Yeah, his on-ball and off-ball gravity this year was insane. Because obviously, you know, we'll see the rest of his time, but I mean, he's just that good of a player. Wait until people see the rest of the season without LaVine. He's the only reliable 3-point shooter. Gonna be some 10% shooting nights from the team. Obviously, I know that's like an exaggeration, but I won't lie, bro. Like, I understand the Bulls, they hit 19 threes today, so it's like, oh, Duncan, like, we'll be just fine. No, you won't. This Bulls team is obviously very streaky, but even today, while you hit 19 threes, I thought the Bulls offense looked pretty damn bad. The only reason why you were even able to put up a competent score line was because the Bulls hit 19 threes. And you shot 36% from there. So it wasn't like you like shot an amazing percentage either. So yeah, I promise you the Bulls offensive rating is going to look really bad like coming up here. Bulls need to obviously compensate by running faster and trying to see if they get any fast break opportunities as possible. But like it's gonna be rough, bro. I genuinely believe that this is gonna be a rough kind of team watching moving forward for the rest of this year. Because obviously, I mean, I'm gonna hope Buzelis gets just a ton of minutes, but I mean, you're looking at a lot of guys, honestly, that I don't know if they're going to be here in the next 3 years. Besides, obviously, Buzelis and maybe Giddey, right? I hope Io stays, but who knows? Please, they can make Zach happy for a year or two. Otherwise, Zach probably leaves way earlier. Probably. Zach's stats get screwed because he goes from east to west. Yeah. Half-court offense even worse now. Oh, bro, the half-court offense is going to be dreadful to watch. The last game knowing too. I know it sucks, bro. Like, the last time we saw Zach was that win against the Denver Nuggets, right? Like, that was the last time we saw Zach LaVine in the Bulls uniform. He obviously hit some big shots in that game to end it, right? But yeah, last time we ever saw him there. When was that Sixers game last week? Ooh. I mean, I know Philly's obviously very happy being in the Super Bowl, but 76ers right now, bro. Whew. I mean, I think the Bulls will still get like a win here and there, right? Like, I think the Bulls are still going to like get some wins here and there moving forward, but it's definitely going to have to come out like a really good shooting night, and someone is going to have to take up Zach's scoring, right? You have to kind of really rely on his defense. On their defense to kind of, you know, spark their offense. No, you're not gonna be worse than the Wizards. The Wizards have 7 wins on the season. Like, I promise you're not gonna be worse than the Wizards. The Wizards are not gonna suddenly just get 14 more wins in the next 2.5 months or whatever. So, no, you're not gonna suddenly just be worse than the Wizards. But I did say though, like, you're gonna fall below Philly probably, and you might fall below Toronto. I also think Portland might pass you here. You know, we'll see about Brooklyn. Like, I have my doubts about Brooklyn because I think Brooklyn's going to still try to be bad. But I can see you definitely falling 3 spots in terms of worst team in the league. That Vegas under looking better. 27.5 was the original. It is looking better, but the Bulls probably surpassed it. But it might only be 28 wins, honestly. Not like the Bulls can get someone who makes that kind of money to even use the $26 million trade exception. And again, bro, I don't even know what, like, I don't even think that's correct. Like, I'm almost willing to bet money that that's incorrect, what Hollinger tweeted out. Or sorry, what Mayberry's tweet out from John Hollinger. I don't think this is correct because the Bulls use most of their non-taxpayer mid-level exception on Jalen Smith. So, like, you don't have $9 million of that left remaining to just spend on on Trey Jones. Like, that's just not possible. So again, unless Trey Jones was used, like they used another exception on Trey Jones here, which the Bulls have had other exceptions. But I don't know what that would be, honestly. Like, I don't think there's a big enough exception to take on an extra $9 million, so that it doesn't affect the trade exception that you're trying to get here. He's also way better on defense than LaVine. Oh, I mean, he's definitely way better on defense, right? But why is that? He has the physical tools to be way better on defense. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the wingspan to be way better on defense than LaVine will ever have, right? Shai at times, honestly, he doesn't even try on defense. Like, there are moments where you can just watch Shai. He's not even really trying. It's just that his wingspan is so large that he can just kind of swipe at a ball and he gets steals off of it, right? That's not me saying that Shai, like, doesn't always, like, he's not always, like, not trying. But there are moments with Shai where he kind of takes a break on defense because he's so good on offense. And that shows you, like, hey, this is, like, when you have a damn good wingspan, like, you can get away with a lot of things, and you can be effective on that end of the floor more consistently. Zach, I've always said with LaVine, his on-ball defense is actually, like, pretty solid. Like, when he is full out trying on that end of the floor, he is actually a pretty solid on-ball defender. His off-ball, though, like, in terms of basketball IQ, his off-ball defense is just, it can't be saved. So, like, the thing is, though, is that there are many teams that have been damn good teams, winning teams, that have a guy that is not exactly the best off-ball defender, okay? So that's the reason why I'm just like, if you're going to be so critical of the defense, okay, first and foremost, he doesn't have these physical tools to be, like, amazing, like, on-ball defender, okay? Like, Michael Jordan had great physical tools to be that. Like, he doesn't have that, okay? But when it comes to the on-ball defense, he's actually pretty solid, mostly when he's guarding guards. Like, if he's guarding anyone bigger, it's a little bit harder for him. But if he's guarding a guard, like, I don't care who the guard is, I think he's actually, like, pretty solid on them. When it comes to off-ball defense, I do think that he's lost. So I don't know if it's going to require, Doug Christie to, like, try to really figure out something special to try to null that. But yet again, they have that issue where it's DeMar DeRozan does nothing defensively, and you have Zach LaVine now, who doesn't do off-ball defense that great. So I don't know what the hell the plan is. So LaVine better be your main point of attack defender on that squad, honestly, which is not great to say, but it's the best role for him. Gideon White were 4 for 21 the other night. Yep. The 3-point shooting, bro, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be bad. And again, this Bulls team lacks size. So this Bulls team seriously lacks size when it comes to scoring the ability on the interior, right? So this Bulls offense is going to really suck. I promise you. LaVine has straight up been carrying this Bulls offense this entire season. Not happy with this deal, though. But hopefully it's the correct direction. Hopefully it is the correct direction for this Bulls team moving forward. But I have my doubts, honestly. I genuinely have my doubts about this moving forward. Yeah, not happy, bro. Not happy with the trade. In terms of the return, again, I'm like I said, I'm fine with trading Zach. It's just that you need to get a good return. I'm not happy with it. I'm really not happy about the signal it's kind of showing to me. It better be a rebuild, but man, oh man, I honestly have some doubts about this being a rebuild. I really think that what the Bulls did today, you could argue that it's a trade to try to just stay relevant. And they think that Herter is going to turn into something great, and Collins can be your backup center or like your special your starting center moving forward. So they can make a train, right? Oh, I agree. Yeah, don't have any faith, bro. Just do not have any faith when it comes to those two moving forward. You should have no faith whatsoever when it comes to those two moving forward. You should not have any faith. All right, y'all. I've streamed for almost 3 hours here. All right, so Kings are half Bulls. Oh my God, bro, the Kings are genuinely the Bulls again. You have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan with a European center, right, who doesn't play much defense, and a 4th overall pick at power forward, with a point guard that used to play for the Lakers. It is just the Bulls again. I don't know what the Kings are necessarily doing, but if they can figure it out, bro, then the Bulls clearly failed. Yeah, I don't know what the Kings are doing, and I don't love the fit for LaVine and others there, but we'll see. Because we already know the LaVine and DeRozan, they don't work together. But yeah, I have some major doubts moving forward about that whole deal, and that whole combination. So I'm gonna assume the Kings probably are looking to make another deal. I don't think this is gonna be like, oh, this is the team moving forward to try and help us win championships. They might trade DeRozan, they might trade Zach. They might try to make another big splash with the picks that they just got today. Not sure what it exactly would be, but I'm gonna guess that obviously, you keep some bonus around. But I wouldn't be shocked if they go and try to make another major splash, because I think that, obviously losing Fox is huge, but LaVine and DeRozan don't work, and again, you don't have like a backup, you don't have a center that's good defensively. So yeah, I don't know what the plan is, honestly, for them, but they're the Sacramento Kings, so a lot of times I don't know what they're doing. I won't lie. Yeah, not exactly thrilled with this trade overall. Before I do hit the end stream button here, though, do we have anything else we want to talk about here? Any potential trades for the Bulls, trades for the NBA? So it could be anything, honestly. Anything that we want to go ahead and kind of talk about before we officially wrap up stream for this major day, when it comes to the Bulls, obviously, and then obviously the NBA as well. I won't lie, bro. I did not think Zach was gonna get traded. I thought everything that we've been hearing. I did not think LaVine was gonna get traded, but yeah, I'm honestly, I'm probably just as shocked as everybody right now that LaVine got traded. Even though I was a person before the season started, I said that I think LaVine will get traded, if he was just healthy. And then with the way that the season kind of went on, of wow, no big contracts are getting moved until the Luka Doncic trade, I was like, well, maybe not then. Maybe you just have to wait till the offseason. And well, here we are. He got traded. So I was right at the beginning. Would you be interested in re-signing Lonzo? No. If the Bulls are officially rebuilding, then no. If the Bulls are going to try to be relevant still, then yeah, I think you should re-sign them. But why would you do that still? Why are we trying to be relevant? We all know the answer to that question, but in terms of just a basketball sense, you should not be trying to be winning right now. You should be trying to rebuild and get young talent on the squad. So keeping Lonzo doesn't really make sense, at least in my opinion. Oh, Kevin plays the way he's capable. For you guys, are you a Kings fan, Ted? Or I don't know what exactly you are. I mean, you know, if Kevin Huerter is able to raise his trade value, great, awesome. You're able to trade Kevin Huerter down the road. But he hasn't played well recently. Obviously, injuries. I think Monk's vision is underrated, and Zach/DeMar can be fine with the right pieces. I'm just worried defensively, bro. Like, your only good defensive player in that lineup is Keegan Murray. I just think defensively, it's not going to look great. Like, on offense, if you're wondering about offense specifically, like, if everyone is fully healthy and playing to their full standard, right? I mean, I think on offense, that team can definitely, I think on offense, that team can definitely score like amongst the best of the league. Like, I mean, with LaVine and Monk shooting, obviously LaVine's overall scoring prowess, and then him and Sabonis in the pick and roll, like, that's gonna be deadly. If DeRozan can, you know, turn back into like more of a point guard-ish. So like, but defensively though, I mean, like, I just don't think anyone's stopping that. Like, you can't, like, they're not gonna stop the other team, bro. And here's the thing, if you're wondering, by the way, like, I want the Kings to succeed, because if the Kings succeed, then it shows that LaVine wasn't a flat out bad, you know, or what, like a player that's a losing player that just tries to stat pad. Like, that shows you then, like, oh, Zach LaVine was a very good player and is a winning player, which he obviously is, but people are idiots about it. Yeah, I want the Kings to succeed, just to show the world that LaVine is great. Like, I want people to understand just how good of a player he is. But the narrative around him has been spun so badly that you got casuals saying, like, oh my god, LaVine's just dead weight. I'm like, no, he's not. The contract's big, I understand that, but that's the reason why it holds more weight, is because the new CBA is garbage. If this was the old CBA, his contract doesn't look as big as it does currently today. But with that being said, even though he has a big contract, he is still one of the most efficient and best scorers in the league today. That is something that you can't be taught. That's something that isn't always just around in the league right now. Like, these are guys that are important to win. He's a very good player, and I hope that he does succeed. Keegan Murray hasn't been as good as last two seasons as he was as a rookie. I understand that, but he's, again, better defensively than the other four in the starting lineup. He obviously needs to also still play well for this to work out for the Kings, but yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen with that. Happy as a Kings fan with Zach. Fox had issues and he needs surgery to correct it, and he can't pass. Really? What did Fox need surgery on? No, what's the Bulls trade for Jimmy Butler? No thanks. I saw your chat message, Davey Breeze. Jimmy says he won't extend with Golden State Warriors, so those trade talks are done. Yeah, that's not shocking to me. I didn't think that. I mean, first and foremost, I did not think the Golden State Warriors were going to trade for a guy that might not even show up to the team. Like, that makes a lot of sense. I really just don't understand the Warriors trading for Butler when he's like, he might not even show up to the team, because the Warriors are not gonna pay him a big bag of money, right? So it's very clearly that the only spot for Jimmy is the Suns, right? Like, that's very clearly the only spot for Jimmy Butler is the Phoenix Suns. Because if he wants to go to a team that's gonna be willing to give him that bag, then it's gonna be the Phoenix Suns only. So I don't know, bro. I don't know where Jimmy's gonna land. He might just be stuck in Miami Heat jail for a little bit now. That'll be interesting to watch. Zach's playing harder than last season, which helps. I mean, LaVine was injured last season, so I hate that argument. Like, Zach isn't playing as hard. Like, no, LaVine was injured last season. They gave up a second with Zach to have an excuse to go for the play, is incredible. Oh, bro, you have no idea how upset I am about this. Like, you gave up a second round pick in this deal. That's insane. he has been put in different positions as he was when he was a rookie. When he was a rookie, he was catching and shooting only. Now his defense has grown and clamps down some huge names. I appreciate that insight, Ted, because I don't watch the Kings every day. But I mean, yeah, I do think that Keegan, like, he's not exactly had the best like offensive output, but again, like, I trust his defense overall, right? Jimmy needs to go pay off Beal to waive his no trade clause. Yeah, bro, that's never gonna happen though. Like, I don't think Beal's getting traded either at this point. Again, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Luka Doncic got traded, bro. I just don't know at this point. And I thought Zach wouldn't get traded, and here we are. Sabonis is basically the playmaker of the Kings. Fox is a scoring point guard through and through. I'm aware of that, but now though, it's just like, what's exactly the fit on defense? Like, again, Sabonis is a rim protector. LaVine and DeRozan have very clearly shown that they're not defenders. Monk isn't much of a defender either. I think LaVine's on-ball defense is underrated, but that does not mean that he's an Alex Caruso. So it's just Keegan Murray. So I've talked about it already. I think offensively, this team is going to score amongst the best of them. You have LaVine and Sabonis in the pick and roll is going to be insane. Like, that's a very good combination. Not to mention then you have shooters around DeMar DeRozan now. So DeMar DeRozan isn't like, you know, he can go play the mid-range game and you won't be messing up everyone's spacing. But on defense though, I just don't know how they're gonna get stops. That's my only thing. So that's the reason why I'm like, I don't think the Kings are done. But I don't know, I'm probably wrong about that. Jimmy T. Butler is going to find himself blackballed from the league. It might happen. I wouldn't be shocked if it does happen. Bulls 100% we have to Jimmy Butler. In terms of what this front office, if they are actually trying to win, then yeah, they would take Jimmy Butler right now. It'd be dumb as hell, but they would take him. I would be very pissed off at the front office if they went and somehow got Jimmy Butler in a trade. But if they're actively trying to win games, then this is they would want Jimmy Butler right now. If they're smart though, they would not want Jimmy Butler, and I hope that they're smart. Not screw that. The Bulls bring in Jimmy Theo. I burn all my Bulls gear. I don't blame you. Booch next and then do the Bulls make a move for Zion before the deadline? No. I've said it. If you're going to trade for Zion Williamson, you needed to keep LaVine around. You're not trading for Zion to rebuild with Zion. Okay, he's 24, right? So you can't wait around 3 years and be like, okay, yeah, or 4 or 5 years or whatever. It's like, all right, he's 29 now. Like, Zion is officially a guy that I think his best time is now, but he's constantly injured. So I just don't think trading for Zion is smart at all now that LaVine is gone. If you're trading for Zion, you should not, like, you're actively trying to win now, which the Bulls should not be trying to like go and make the play in the playoffs right now. Well, his front office isn't smart. I know. So there is obviously the chance that they do trade for Zion. I was for trading Zion if you kept Zach. Like, if you're I mean, that honest here. Like, if the Bulls trade for Zion and you kept LaVine, I was fine with that. I mean, that's very clearly signaling in direction of like, okay, we're trying to win right now. Zion is ideally gonna turn into your number 1 and LaVine's your number 2. Like, that sounds fantastic. But that's clearly not the direction, at least that you should be going after you just traded Zach. So, you know, we'll see. I genuinely do not know when it comes to this Bulls front office anymore. I really don't know at all. For the log, I just need to go full tank at this point. Okay, again, I just want to make it clear, I'm not a person for full tank, but what I am for is full rebuild. Okay, which means that my definition of a rebuild is you're trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible in a short amount of time. Okay, that is my definition of a rebuild. Okay, in my opinion, full out tanking and, like, you know, not letting your players develop and, you know, try to actually go and win the game is a detriment to your squad. But I'm being real, with the Bulls' lack of talent already on the roster, if the Bulls just straight up trade all their bets away, they're going to be a horrific team. So, like, you're basically just kind of tanking just by being bad. Like, you're not actively tanking, like, you're not actively making decisions to go 0-82, but you're going to be bad. Like, you're going to be by far, like, one of the worst, like, 4 worst teams in the league if you just traded every vet off the roster. Okay. even if you had some vets on the roster, I just think this team lacks a lot of young talent. Like, I just think no one's really that talented on this roster now that Zach's gone. So I personally would just think that the Bulls are just bad. Like, I genuinely think that the Bulls would just be bad, even if they weren't actively tanking, but they just went full rebuild mode. They would just be awful. But again, that's just my opinion about it. I understand a lot of people want the tank, right? But to me, it's more about the Bulls need to find any way possible to accumulate as much young talent as in a short amount of time. That's my biggest thing when it comes to a rebuild, is trying to do that is more important than like trying to make sure you get the #1 overall pick. The #1 overall pick's nice, but that should be like the cherry on top. It should not be your end-all, be-all. You better get it, and everything. And your franchise depends on the #1 overall pick. You need to just try to draft as many guys as possible and see what sticks. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was not drafted #1 overall. Okay, he was drafted 11th, right? I think that's correct. Like Giannis was drafted number 15. Like, you don't need a top 3 pick to get, a superstar. I understand it's like, oh, it's like the most reliable way for a lot of people in their head, but I just don't need you to be actively tanking your season to try to basically bank everything on getting the 1st overall pick. Because let's say you end up with the 4th overall pick, or in the Pistons case, you end up with 5th. Like, it doesn't feel too good, right? So I just think that moving forward, it's about trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible here, and we'll see how that goes. But I won't lie, bro. I just think the trade today signals, hey, we got Zach off our books. We freed up about $10 million in salary cap. Or sorry, we got $10 million off our salary books. We're still going to try to be competitive after we trade Vucevic here. Like, we should not be trying to be competitive at all. That's the part that is like, all right, when I say that, I'm like, that's not me saying, oh, it's full out tank. I'm just saying that, like, we should not have enough talent, like veteran talent on the team to try to actively be in the plan. We should be full out young guys only, and trying to develop our young talent and trying to accumulate as much young talent as possible. If we happen to get a top 2 pick, awesome. That's just a cherry on top, and we'll move forward with it. But I promise you, we're going to be bad with just going young. we are going to be horrifically bad if we just go young, which I'm hoping the Bulls do that moving forward here. So yeah, looking for a Vuce trade to happen next. It should probably happen now. Like, if the Bulls trade LaVine and don't trade Vucevic, then I don't know what the hell the front office is doing. Yeah, Chris Duarte, Torrey Craig, these are guys that are just like, we don't really know. We don't really know who's going to be who's going to be the next. Like, the Bulls have to clear 2 roster spots, so someone has to go here. So at the end of the day, I mean, it could honestly be like THT is gone. Like, it's a possibility. I'm being dead serious. So yeah, I'm interested to see what exactly happens from here on out. Okay, with that, pretty much what I mean. Like, trade all vets, build around Buzelis, let him ball out there. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Again, that's not me saying that oh, we need to, like, lose the game intentionally. If we happen to end up in a win or something, hey, that's cool. But we don't need to actively lose the game. And make sure, like, we go 0-82. Which, 76 were close. Jakusionis, did I say that right? I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry. Is Lithuania and in a line? I'm just saying. Oh, interesting. I think it is officially time for me to actually start looking into this, because if you're new to the channel, I don't look at this stuff. Like, I'm not a person that follows college basketball or NBA prospects. I just don't. Okay, Kasparas Jakusionis, I guess. So I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. 6'5", 6'7" and a half wingspan. 6'6", I guess, so shoes. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye. Keep an eye on these guys. See, it's pronounced with a ch. Got it. Okay. So, Jakusionis. Jakusionis? Is that it? Honestly, I'll just look it up. It's all right.
Kasparis or
Kasparas.
Kasparis?
Yakuchonis.
Yakuchonis.
Yeah.
Jakuchonis. Okay, got it. Okay, Jakuchonis. Yeah, nice shot. Commands the floor well when I watch. Okay, good to know. All right, yeah, I'll be definitely catching up on my prospect list moving forward here. Yeah, I'll definitely be catching up as much as I can because now that I hope the front office is actually heading towards a rebuild here. I'll be doing my research for some of these guys, so it's gonna take me a bit. I'm definitely not as informed as you guys right now because again, I don't watch college basketball until March Madness. Even then, I don't really watch that much. So yeah, you guys are gonna be more knowledgeable than me. So you guys have to tell me, everything when it comes to this sort of stuff. But I'll also do my own research. And I'll be, trying to figure out who the Bulls I think should draft. At the end of the day. Okay. I do think though, now that it's almost 11 o'clock, I do think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Major day in kind of obviously in Bulls history, but also just in just kind of my own fandom because I am a big Zach LaVine fan. So it's kind of sad to see him go here, but it is what it is at this point. So I just want to say thank you everybody who tuned into the stream. This has by far been the best stream on this channel and the entirety of the channel. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you guys. Twice today. We had a post-game stream earlier today and then into this, which I was not expecting. So thank you guys so much for coming into the stream today. I sincerely do appreciate it. If you have not already hit the like button on the stream, please do. It helps me out a ton. We have 26 likes on the stream currently, so any likes help. Thank you guys so much for all the likes, though. It really means a lot. We've had over 500 different views, so I mean it's probably repeats of some people, but I mean at least 500 different clicks on the stream today. So thank you guys so much. I mean my community. I just want to say thank you to you guys specifically. My community has been awesome throughout like the last couple of years when I've covered Bulls basketball. Especially when I was dealing with illnesses, and they still stuck with me. So thank you guys so much for that. It truly does mean a lot. And then obviously we had a lot of new people in today, so welcome. You're very welcome here, and thank you for tuning into the stream. It means a ton, honestly, that you decide to check in and listen to my input on this whole thing. Yeah, this bowl season is gonna look a lot different moving forward. But I'll be here to cover it, right? So I'm here to, no matter what, even with the major changes just happened, I'm still here to cover it. So we're gonna see some bad L's, I think, coming up here, but I'm here to cover it. So I'm looking forward to still covering this Bulls team, even though I think the offense is gonna absolutely suck. And it's not like our defense was doing anything spectacular already. So yeah, I think this offense is gonna be dreadful. But we're here to talk about it. So I'm also just interested to see what's going to happen next. Don't know what the next Bulls trade is, but I'm going to be extremely interested to see what exactly that is. But that's going to officially do it for me. Zach LaVine is officially on the Sacramento Kings. At least in my opinion, I think the Bulls got kind of fleeced in this deal. I'm not happy with the return, honestly. Not happy with it at all. Yeah, I'm hoping the Bulls actually go towards the rebuild, though, and I don't think that the return signals that. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the Bulls do next year. Hopefully they actually do a trade, and we'll be able to talk about that whenever I get the chance to. If a trade happens in the middle of the night again, I won't be streaming again. And if it happens like early morning as well, I won't be streaming for it. But in the afternoon, though, I will be available. So if a trade does happen, hopefully it happens then. All right, y'all. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Please do. It helps me out a ton. I'll see you guys whenever I see you next. I don't know when that's going to be, honestly. All right. Thank you all for tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Peace out.